Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching our special YouTube broadcast for CNN News 18, cricketnext.com and Money Control and more. I'm Shivani Gupta and it's a pleasure to bring to you our special coverage of the IPL auctions. Remember, last year was a fun season with 2 new teams coming back, so 10 teams in fray, and this time around, all 10 of them will be vying for the best in the auction and a best season coming up. With me is Group Editor Sports K. Srinivas Rao, Chetan Narula, sports journalist and broadcaster, and we're looking forward to the IPL auction. So, 405 players in the fray, 273 Indians, 132 foreigners, 119 capped and 296 uncapped. It's always quite fun and thrilling to see exactly how the bidding goes. Let me take some opening comments from our experts as well. So, Srini, what are you looking forward to most today?
The one thing that's keeping me very interested right now is trying to understand if what the trend that we saw in the mega auction, which happened early this year, where franchisees, instead of going for big names, actually decided to invest in young domestic Indian players. What is going to be the trend this time? Because we have the likes of Ben Stokes, we have the likes of Cameron Green, we have the likes of Sam Curran. So there's no dearth of big names out here. So are the franchises going to again go and spend those big bucks on these names, or they're going to probably have done their homework?
So as far as the mock auction is concerned, I think there were no surprises as far as the 3 biggest bids are concerned. That maybe is an indication of where things could go.
I think that's usually the build-up that happens for an auction. I think that's the charm of an auction, where we like to see millions being spent on big names. So I wasn't surprised Ben Stokes and all those names actually.
Sam Curran and Cameron Green.
Yes, but the reality could turn out to be something completely different. We don't know.
Chetan, you agree with that? Are we in for any surprises today?
We should be, because the general trend in mini auctions is, the price points go really high. So somebody like a Ben Stokes, I mean, are we looking at something like 20 crore today? We cannot forget that Sunrisers Hyderabad are looking for a captain. Mayank Agarwal is available, Ajinkya Rahane is there, so anything could happen. So those prices might just shoot up. However, the one thing that I am interested in today is how the team strategize with the impact player, and what impact, pun unintended, what impact that will have on the all-rounders category, especially the Indian all-rounders.
So since you mentioned it, I was going to talk about it. Why don't you just break down, because this is a new rule, it is a bit complicated. Why don't you just break down for everybody watching what is this new impact rule, and what impact it can have on the league per se?
Basically, the impact rule is that after a particular number of overs in the innings, you can replace one player. Now, the major crux of the rule is that you can't replace the overseas player. It's mostly the Indian player. If you're picking only 3 overseas players, then maybe you can bring in an overseas player as your impact player. But now the thing is, if you can bring in an impact player, you can bring in a proper batsman, you can bring in a proper bowler. Why would you need to pick an all-rounder? So this is the biggest question, and how it shapes team strategies, not only in the auction, but going ahead in the season itself. I think that's going to be really
so that's interesting, isn't it? Because you look at the list that is up for grabs today. Of course, Ben Stokes, one of the top all-rounders of the world. Sam Curran, man of the tournament in the T20 World Cup. You've got Cameron Green, you've got Shakib Al Hassel, you've got Jason Holder. So there are a lot of good quality all-rounders available. But will their market go down, as Chetan is saying, because of this impact player rule?
Yes, the one thing that I was completely convinced about when this impact player rule, because again, what we've seen earlier, like something on these lines have been tried, but there was this option of only 1 player. Now you can go with the option of 4 players, at the toss. There is that option available with a captain. What it does, it is allows the team to now concentrate on specialist cricketers, and I think it will not diminish the value of an all-rounder. The value of a quintessential all-rounder is always going to be intact in cricket. Why wouldn't you have the services of somebody who can bat and bowl?
No, I think particularly, the kind of quality that is there, Srini. I mean, why wouldn't you want a Sam Curran in your side?
Yes.
I mean, look at the experience he has. Why wouldn't you want a Ben Stokes? Look at what he did for England in the crunch situation in the T20 World Cup.
That's what. Yeah, I think so. I think the value of the all-rounder is not going to diminish. That's going to stay, but the dependency factor, where if you don't have an all-rounder, if you don't have a quality all-rounder, then probably you have another option.
No, also the fact, when I say it's going to impact the all-rounders, it's probably going to impact the Indian pool of all-rounders, not the overseas pool, because you want a Cameron Green who can bat at the top, you want a Sam Curran who can bowl, we want a Ben Stokes who can change. Also, there is also an NOC factor that's coming in, where the boards might actually restrict in terms of workload management, somebody like a Ben Stokes, he cannot bowl in all 14 matches. This is something that I read just this morning. And, you know, that's going to be a bit of a bummer. If somebody like Lucknow Super Giants going all out for Ben Stokes, they're trying to replace Jason Holder, that could, you know, be a spanner in the works. So, but again, like I said, the impact of the impact player could be felt on the Indian pool of all-rounders, not particularly the overseas players.
True.
Fair enough. So there are 87 slots to be filled by the 10 franchises today. There are 30 overseas slots available. Hyderabad has the maximum purse, followed by Punjab. Kolkata and Bangalore have the least. So let's just take a look at, you know, what each side also needs and how will that influence what we're going to be able to see. So obviously, you've got a side like Sunrisers Hyderabad, Srini, who've got 42 crore rupees available. You look at their side, obviously, it's a very lean side. They almost have nobody. So they're going to be the biggest purchasers today.
Oh yes, how they spend their money is going to be one of the most interesting things to watch. To start with, they need a captain. First of all, unless they already have something in mind, which again I don't know how that's going to work out. But to start with, they need a captain, and from there they need to build actually a brand new team. I mean, you know, barring. Yeah.
And with Sunrisers Hyderabad, the interesting thing is that in the past they've gone with overseas captains, and that's a formula that's almost always, you know, it's bound to fail because yes, unless you have somebody like a David Warner, and look what happened with David Warner.
Wasn't the first IPL winner an overseas captain?
He was, but that was the legendary and late Shane Warne. But again, see, David Warner has done exceptionally well for Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Yeah.
But when the captain is not doing well for an IPL franchise, that becomes a problem because then he's taking, you know, if he's just a normal player taking one of those 11 spots, it doesn't matter. But if he's taking 1 out of 4 spots, that becomes a problem.
But Chetan, I would say if the captain of your team is not doing well, that's a problem for you anyways. It doesn't matter whether that's an Indian or a foreigner.
Yeah, because it rubs off on the rest of the team.
Yeah.
It is, but again, it's about the number of slots because you can just experiment with those 3 slots. That's the calculation that, and again, you know, they've been burned for 2 seasons now. You had David Warner the season prior to that. Look how that turned out. Last year, Kane Williamson. Look how that turned out. So, and of course, they probably would have wanted Rashid Khan, and then they had to release him last year. So, you know, Sunrisers Hyderabad, all eyes on them.
Anything in particular you feel they'll be going for? And if they want that captain, who's that captain material for them?
You know, there I have a bit of a worry now. You know, Chetan talked about Ben Stokes and how he can bowl. Like, you know, there are restrictions in terms of the bowlers, number of overs that he can bowl and all that. Now, these 3 all-rounders, these 3 most sought-after all-rounders that we are talking about, well, there is an Ashes this year. Okay. Yeah. Now, and we know how these 2 countries, like, you know, when the Ashes arrives, a year before that, everything else stops, right? Now, the point is, if Sunrisers Hyderabad spend top dollar to probably take Ben Stokes home and give him the captaincy, what is the guarantee that he's not going to like go away, you know, with the last couple of weeks of IPL? So, what is...
So, just correct me, Chetan, because, you know, I got the sense over the last so many years that sometimes the franchises are okay. If the player is of the caliber of a Ben Stokes, they're sometimes okay to not have that player play all the matches.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, because he is going to be available not just for the 1 year, but for 2-3 years, and availability that can be managed.
Bagging him is more important.
Yeah, I mean, look at last year what Mumbai Indians did. They did not even have Jofra Archer. They bagged him for this coming season, 2023. He did not even play in 2022. So, you asked about who could be the captain for Sunrisers Hyderabad. I don't think they'll go for an overseas player this time. I really don't think so. And obviously looking at the purse, especially looking at the purse, Mayank Agarwal, that's the biggest pick today, I think, especially in the Indian names.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if he, you know, breaks the bank. I mean, Sunrisers Hyderabad break the bank for him, and you know, he takes home a great payday, around 16, 18 crores easily. And talking about Sam Curran, you look at Sam Curran, Chennai Super Kings, they have a habit of getting their players back. Sam Curran was an important cog for Chennai Super Kings. I see them going all out for Sam Curran today.
The second team, Srini, that has the most purse, as I mentioned, is Punjab. So let's take a look at their team as well. They've got good quality Indian talent. Now, since he mentioned Mayank Agarwal, I am bringing in Punjab as well, because would they not want him back?
Why release him? Why release him? I mean, it's complicated, isn't it? I mean,
but teams have done that.
that's the thing with Punjab.
They release
You
players
never
and they
That's the
can
thing
come
with
back.
Punjab. No, that's the thing with Punjab. They always enter into a players' auction with a very handy purse. It's not surprising that they have the second highest purse again.
What's the economics behind this, Srini?
In fact, like, this is like a standing joke right now that Kolkata have 7 crores or
Yeah.
something left in the bank, right? And everybody is worried that, how will they probably fill in the number of slots that they have, right?
yeah.
For the kind of money. Alternately, the worry is also that Punjab have too much money.
No, and
And
Shivani,
how are they going to calculate their spending?
And Shivani had mentioned that, what if the Indian captain isn't performing? Last year, when you look at the IPL, it was a problem of plenty for Punjab because they had Shikhar Dhawan, they had Bairstow, they had Bhanuka Rajpaksa, and they had one other player, and Liam Livingston. So Mayank Agarwal at one point was batting at number 5. And so the easiest solution, release him and make Shikhar Dhawan the captain.
I feel there are 2 teams in the IPL consistently that have some of the most exciting teams.
Yeah.
One is Punjab.
Yeah.
You look at their team any season.
It's a fabulous
It's
team.
always a fabulous team to look at. You are excited to watch a Punjab match. And the other such team is Delhi.
Yeah.
And look at how underperforming and underachievers both of these sides have been. So let's also talk about the conundrum that both Kolkata and what do we have? Kolkata and Bangalore have. Are
Okay.
they going to be almost like silent watchers of the auction today, or is there anything particular you think they're going for today?
I don't know. I mean, I'm really going to look at what Kolkata does, for the kind of money that they have left with them and for the number of slots that they have to fill. I really think that they just need to pack more batsmen in the squad.
Maybe an overseas batting option for KKR.
Absolutely, absolutely. I
Maybe
think-
some other batting options,
Yeah.
but they have let go of Shardul Thakur as well. So do they need to
That's-
beef that up as well?
I mean, look, last year when we saw KKR, their batting was missing that X factor. They were trying to go too hard. They were trying to buy in the philosophy that their coaching staff was bringing them, but that X factor was missing. If you're overseas, one big overseas top 3 batsman is Ramanullah Gurbaz, no disrespect. I think that's you're a bit lightweight there.
But they don't have the money to spend.
But they don't have the money to spend. That's the problem, that they
Yeah.
have probably not, figured it out, which is surprising because KKR over the last few years, they've shown us that they're good with calculations and everything. So this actually comes as a bit of a surprise that they haven't really come to the table, especially when you have somebody like a Cameron Green who could actually bat at the top. He's a top 3 batsman for me. Given the way he performed during Australia's tour of India last year, 3 T20s, absolutely smashed everybody on these grounds. I was at Mohali, huge sixes that guy hit. So you can't come to the table and say, okay, you know what, I need a top 3 batsman and not go for Cameron Green.
Chetan, or probably they have somebody in mind from the domestic circuit. Don't forget who their coach is.
Yeah.
Chandrakant Pandit.
And Bharat Arun.
Bharat. Look,
is
I
also
mean,
there.
2 guys.
So they're best placed to identify the best domestic talent.
Yes. So I won't be surprised at all if, and Pandit is known to, pull those tricks out of the bag, and I will not be surprised if he's come with a list of absolute unknown, obscure names that probably are going to see, and that's why right at the start of this conversation, which is what I had mentioned, that, I would like to see if franchises actually spend big bucks on these so-called stars or, go the domestic way.
You do need that star value when you're playing the IPL. I don't think, one can escape that. But we'll continue our discussion in the studios in just a bit. Let me go across to Kochi, where my colleague Sahil is joining us. Sahil, any updates that you're picking up? Some whispers before the auction starts?
I think you really can't pick any whispers from the IPL auction venue because everyone is pretty tight-lipped when it comes to the auction and strategy and stuff like that. But the buzz is, it's very buzzing right now. Ever since morning, people have been stepping in. All the owners are here and they've just made their way down to the auction room where all the action is expected to begin in another 5 to 6 minutes. There were 4 changes in the IPL sets per se. So I'll just mention that quickly that Abhimanyu Ishwaran has been moved from set 8 to set 7. Ben McDermott from Australia has withdrawn his name from the IPL auctions. And Rehan Ahmed, who recently made a very successful debut for England, has now is now a capped player and his reserve price is 50 lakhs. There's another addition in Shivam Singh. I'm still trying to figure out who that Shivam Singh is because there are plenty of Shivam Singh going around the domestic circuit. But so far it's been very buzzing, and I could still feel the tension in the air from the KKR camp because as I was hearing Srini and Chetan talk, they have a lot of work to do and they don't have enough resources to kind of put together that star squad which everyone needs in the IPL.
Absolutely. I think we are just about nearing the start of the IPL auction. So, it wouldn't be bad to just remind our viewers of the biggest names that are in contention. But there are also some interesting talent, and I'm not talking about just domestic talent. Srini and Chetan, I want to talk to you about. We know what Sam Curran, Cameron Green, Ben Stokes are all about. But look at some other interesting players that I have drawn out. There's Liton Das. Could be an exciting bid to watch out for, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. After what he did at Adelaide,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, and the big factor
Who doesn't
is,
want a swashbuckling batsman?
and he could not, and he wouldn't be that expensive.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Somebody
These
like
are
a
not the
KKR,
superstars of the
somebody like
auction.
a KKR, they have 7 crores. They could, bag Liton Das for what, 3-4 crores and get their top order batsman who could actually hit hard and, give them that extra.
Liton Das would be a great addition to KKR.
And yes, the Bengali.
Actually, the Bengali factor as well.
Absolutely. So we have picked out a proper batsman for KKR. We should call them and tell them, Liton Das.
Yeah. I think we should start doing some consultancy.
Something like that. And also the young Indian domestic stars. So some of the names that missed out on the mega auction early, like, Sheikh Rashid from Andhra. I think, we remember him for that brilliant half century that he scored in the semi-final of the Under-19 World Cup. And then you have that wicketkeeper batsman, Dinesh Bana, who gave us the MS Dhoni vibes when he finished the World Cup final with a 6. These young guys are just waiting to stump in.
And that's the key for a mini auction, because you'll have your category of your overseas stars, but they'll be very restricted in number because the teams are settled, you're filling up your squads. It's about filling up the squad today. And I think, again, that impact player, that's the strategy. How many batsmen, domestic or international, have been, or bowlers for that matter, have been identified as impact players going into that next season? That is the most fascinating aspect of the auction.
So I'm also looking at a list it cannot be an exhaustive list, but amongst the interesting players who wouldn't be too pricey, Srini, I mentioned Liton Das. There is Josh Little, the Irish left-arm pacer who claimed a hat-trick in the T20 World Cup. Not many would know about him, and
And he's definitely not going to CSK after the comments that he's made. That I wanted to
did
get.
he say?
He said I wanted to get out of there. They were using me as a net bowler, and they said that unless some big injury happens, and not even to one player, maybe 2-3 players, and basically their entire overseas roster gets injured, only then I'll get a game. And I couldn't wait to get out of there. So that's one player CSK is not.
So ambitious guy.
Ambitious
I like
guy,
that.
yeah, right.
And sometimes you feel bad for the players when they have to keep warming the bench, and you just.
Obviously, everybody wants to be part of that action.
Especially an Irish player, because he's, they're not many around in the IPL for that matter. So if there's
At the
an
very
Irish
core,
player
what
there,
would a
play
cricketer
him.
need? He would want to be out there on the ground, right? I mean, if he's not getting that opportunity at some point in time, the frustration is going to show.
There's another one, is Karthik Mayappan. The UAE leg spinner also picked up a hat-trick in the T20 World Cup. So he could be a good addition for any team, Srini. I'm talking about players who, have done something of note and are not going to be, your bank breakers.
I'd like to know, correct me if I'm wrong, which team is Karthik Mayappan there as a local player in the Emirates League?
Yeah, he's at the Sharjah, he's at the ILT, right?
Yeah.
Sharjah Warriors.
Yeah, but which team? Oh, Sharjah Warriors.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, then probably the team that has him there would like to kind of get him on board here. I mean, to try and build some kind of synergy. So a lot of, but a lot of synergy is also going to be at play here, because these same franchisees who are in IPL are now going and investing in, teams abroad, in overseas leagues. So would like to have a common...
Yes, they would like to, but that's the dynamics of the auction, that, what you like to happen, it just
always
doesn't
happen.
always happen. So yes, as much as they would like him, I mean, I see CSK, probably having an interest in Karthik Mayappan, because look, they've always wanted a good wrist spinner there.
Yeah.
Last year, Ravindra Jadeja was a bit off color. So can they rely? Yes, he's going back. He's going to be playing for them. But can they really rely on him? Again,
I think Jadeja's a champion guy, and
but again,
regardless of what happened last season.
But again, his form could be up and down, and again, the equation, the mentality. I'm pretty sure he's professional and everything, and Dhoni wouldn't want MS Dhoni wouldn't want those things to just, linger on. But again, you would want a backup in terms of your spin options. CSK have been weakened in terms of their batting and their bowling, so probably, again, would not cost too much, but would,
Mumbai Indians
boost
need
up
a
the
spinner
squad.
desperately.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Desperately
they do.
need
Yeah.
a spinner.
But,
Who?
but,
Mumbai Indians.
Mumbai.
but can they afford an overseas pick? That's the point with Mumbai Indians, because they have too many. Yes, they've let go of Kieran Pollard, but they still have too many overseas players. So with Mumbai Indians, that's always a question mark.
Adil Rashid.
There's also a mystery spinner who's a 15-year-old, Allah Mohammad Ghazanfar. He's a 15-year-old
15-year-old.
mystery spinner, has been, watched keenly, hasn't played too much, and he was part of the Australian BBL draft, didn't find any takers. But I think, a lot of teams, as you were saying, Srini, they like to kind of tap for the future as well. And IPL has that knack to give you players you haven't heard about, you haven't seen before, but someone picked them, someone gave them the opportunity, Srini, and they do well. So many such names have come out, right?
Absolutely, the IPL is known for that, to just send up players who've just made a name for themselves. I mean, look at just Afghanistan players. So many of them who've just come and made a name for
especially
themselves.
a lot of the Afghan players.
Yeah, and not just Afghanistan. We're looking at domestic players as well. So the IPL, and it's become a trend now overseas. Even yesterday, I was reading a report. The new PCB chairman, he's saying, we're getting players just from the PSL now. So it's becoming a trend, not just in India.
So one of the things that franchisees have been talking about lately, and this has been growing chatter among the different ecosystems. You have 10 franchisees, so this has been a talked about thing, that it is now time for IPL teams to start building their own ecosystems, right? You needed stars at the beginning of the IPL. You needed big names because the properties had to be established, and you needed some kind of, how would you put up a brand in place? You needed big names to do that. Now that you have a settled brand in place, now that you have established yourself, and now that the income pools are running properly, I think now is the time where franchisees switch to domestic cricket. They pick players where they are young, where they are like in their teens, and build them, and kind of reap the rewards on the longer run. Not only would you buy them cheap, probably kind of have them grow in the manner that suits your brand, but more importantly, you build a culture.
And you look at what Mumbai Indians have also done last year. You look at somebody like Deval Brevis, who's not played too much, senior cricket, and he's there. He's already a prominent member of what Mumbai Indians are doing. And I spoke to Mumbai Indians insider last season when they had one of the worst seasons probably ever in the IPL history. And they said, you know what, we don't care if we don't win the trophy this year. We're
Really?
We're building a team for the next 5 years. We want to win next 5 out of 8 seasons. That's what they're building for. It's a small-term pain for a long-term gain, if you can see that. And that's how they went around. They probably would have liked not to finish 10, but still, it did not really hurt.
No, I
them
get
that
what you're
much.
saying. Let me also quickly go back across to my colleague Sahil, who's keeping a vigil as far as the auctions are concerned, which are bound to start any minute now. Sahil, just a sense of exactly who is there from the different teams, and what all are they saying about the requirements this year?
So I think plenty of star power already here. So we have the likes of Nes Wadia who's there for Punjab Kings. Mumbai Indians camp is a packed one right now with Mahela Jayawardene, Akash Ambani is there, Rahul Sanghvi is there, Zahir Khan was there. And then with the Gujarat Titans, you had Ashish Nehra. KKR had a lot of domestic coaches in place, and now Chandrakant Pandit, Bharat Arun, Abhishek Nair, all three of them were there in the lobby this morning. So LSG had Andy Flower, they had Gautam Gambhir, Vijay Dhaya, and Brian Lara was there for the Sunrisers Hyderabad. So no shortage of star power here, and I think now the action is expected to begin anytime soon. Jay Shah just walked down the escalators a couple of minutes back. He has entered the auction room. So by now the briefings and all would be underway, and the first set will be rolling soon.
Okay. Speaking of this year's IPL auction, Srini, a quick word about the defending champions as well. Let's not forget the story from last IPL season. A young newbie side coming in and shocking everybody. Is there any particular hole that you think the Titans would be looking to plug? They've got a decent middle, purse this time. They've got about 20 crores. So what do you think they need? A top order batsman, because they've released the likes of Jason Roy?
Well, before that, I think right now, when I look at it, they let go of Lockie Ferguson, and I'm sure that they would have identified somebody going into the auction because they didn't seek a replacement for that. But I think they're still in need of a good fast bowler going into this auction, and I want to see how they go and identify. Right now, when I look at this Gujarat Titans team, anything that they're going to now buy at the auction is only going to add to the pool that they already have, and I think they have a wonderful pool in place.
I think they need 3 picks. I think they need an opener because
Yeah,
last
an
year they
opening
struggled
batsman.
to find an able partner for Shubman Gill. I think they need a fast bowler, as Srini said, but I also think they need a reliable all-rounder. I think somebody like a Jason Holder could really interest them. Somebody who can bowl a bit, bat a bit, and take care of the big situation. Somebody who could just not a very expensive all-rounder, maybe an Indian all-rounder as well. So somebody who could just handle, take some pressure off Hardik when he's batting at number 4. So
And the confidence with which they gave away Lockie, and I'm sure they have identified someone, and
So
with
who is the one that you think they could be targeting?
I think he should answer that.
That's the important question.
No, I mean, the fast bowler, she's asking.
No, yeah, the fast bowler and that all-rounder that you're saying, somebody who could take the pressure off Hardik Pandya. Who is that person?
Somebody like Jason Holder, I think he's perfect. And I think Jason Holder, a lot of franchises would be eyeing him today because Delhi Capitals, they need somebody there because they bought Mitchell Marsh and Mitchell Marsh doesn't bowl anymore, does he? And similarly, Lucknow Super Giants, I think they'll be the one team that will not raise the paddle for Jason Holder. But Delhi Capitals, Gujarat Titans, definitely. Maybe somebody like Sunrisers Hyderabad because they are rebuilding the entire side. So why not? And Jason Holder has played for them earlier as well. So I think we could see a bidding war for Jason Holder today.
Srini, before we start getting some updates, any last thoughts before the action? Because I think they're almost about to start. We've got Mr. Dhumal speaking right now, addressing the gathering. Final thoughts?
I think 15 minutes, 20 minutes into the auction, and we'll know what the trend is going to be.
Yeah. Whether the big ones are really getting the big bucks, first of all, because most of the big ones are coming in the first two sets as well. And whether the teams are going to be a little bit careful because, there is, of course, that retaining and the silent auction option as well. So sometimes you see that the players you think are going to be bidded for a lot, they don't get bidded for. And then the teams work it out.
But usually that's not the trend in a mini auction. Mini auction, we've seen somebody like a Chris Morris go for 16 crores and also I'm pretty sure we are going to see something as crazy as that today.
So we are seeing the record for the most expensive player being broken today or not?
I absolutely believe that could happen, especially with Mayank Agarwal. And actually it could not be Mayank Agarwal because not a lot of teams need Indian openers, senior Indian openers. Not a lot of teams need that. Somebody like a Sunrisers Hyderabad, they would need that. They need a captain as well. So they might get Mayank Agarwal, say around 10-12 crores, but somebody like a Cam Green or even Ben Stokes. Yeah,
I'll stick
Sam
to my
Curran.
gut. I'll say that probably franchises would have done their homework on domestic cricketers that have come. And we'll see Mumbai Indians probably have identified their next Tilak Verma.
Probably.
And probably that is where I'm looking at this.
I've got a list that I prepared of some of the uncapped players, also some of the players from the domestic circuit who could be interesting ones. So I see that there is good fast bowling talent, first of all, that is up for grabs. And there are maybe some good batsmen. We've got this guy who's Narayan Jagadisan. He has made a record-breaking 5 back-to-back list A centuries and the only batter in the world to achieve this during the Vijay Hazare Trophy. So I'm just saying that there are many of these informed players as well.
I could be mistaken. I think he was part of the CSK camp earlier. I could be mistaken, but he was definitely in...
No, he was in... he has trialled with Gujarat Titans.
Okay.
Who are also on the lookout apparently for a second Indian wicketkeeper, isn't it?
They would need that because
They would need
Riddhiman
that as a
Saha,
backup.
that again that's another place that they could actually identify someone. Riddhiman Saha, they were, and Matthew Wade, they were juggling between.
He
the
was
two.
in the Chennai squad. You're right, Chennai.
Yeah, Chennai squad.
But he didn't get much time there.
No, he didn't, and he was like the Irish version, the Indian version of that Irish guy. But again,
But in the Chennai team, it's so star-studded.
Exactly.
You're bound to warm the bench unless some major injuries happen. Because the Chennai side is the most, the core is the most solidified core as far as IPL goes.
They got to do a lot of repair works for what they did in the previous auction.
Yeah.
And I think they really missed out. So I really thought that they had a set of players in their mind who they wanted to go to. But again, they had a budget. They had a rigid, fixed budget in mind. and they were not flexible at the last minute, and they had to keep letting go of players. So if you remember the last auction, Chennai like kind of came close and then probably had to stop at some point in time.
With me, I think it didn't start with, start going wrong for Chennai on auction day. It went wrong the day they decided that Ravindra Jadeja is going to be your highest paid player.
Ah, okay.
Because the moment you made Jadeja your highest paid player, it was clear that you let go of Faf. That was clear that Faf was not going to be captain, and you had to pick another captain, and probably Ravindra Jadeja was in their eye because they made him the highest paid player. And then they said, okay, you know what, we'll keep MS Dhoni, but we will not pay him that much. But then they ended up paying him 12 CR as well. So that wasted a lot of money as well for them. So
you know what, I don't think they have wasted a penny on MS Dhoni. I'll tell you why. Because we are looking at the whole exercise from an on-field perspective.
No, I'll tell you why they did waste
field,
it.
If Chennai Super Kings is getting 70 crores per annum as a jersey sponsorship, I think more than 50% of that is still coming to them only because MS Dhoni is in the.
I agree. But that sponsorship sales, it does not reflect in the auction money. And why I say that, you needed those extra 4 crores to get a Shardul Thakur back. You needed those extra 4 crores when you lost out on other players. Deepak Chahar, for him also the auction went really high. They had to actually pick between letting go Deepak Chahar or Shardul Thakur. It was that bad for Chennai last year during the auctions. And that was a mega auction. And you had a lot of players on the list. So Chennai had to make a lot of compromises. Even if you were paying MS Dhoni 8 crores, he would sell the same number, if not more number of jerseys. So that, I'm sorry to say.
No, fair enough.
That's, those 4 crores is not going to come from jersey sponsorship. So, or jersey sales. That 4 crores you need to get players to keep winning again and again. So that's where CSK went wrong last year.
Right. So I believe we're going to start getting the updates from the IPL auction very, very quickly. And as we wait for those updates, a quick chat about Srini, the base prices as well. You've got a lot of these foreign players who've obviously picked their base price at 2 crores. The likes of Riley Russo also, actually we haven't talked about him. If somebody is in the market for an all-out, batsman who's in good form and can destroy oppositions, Riley Russo is a good option as well. You've got even this Nicholas Pooran, I think, who is in the 2 crore bracket. So do you think that's a good bracket for him to be in?
Why? Because of the number of zeros he scores and the number of zeros in 2 crores?
I think...
maybe a 1 crore bracket would have been
Yeah.
apt for him, but
Yeah.
2 crores may be a bit much.
Someday when we are away from this whole auction, this thing, I really would want to go and understand the psyche of how player decides on his base price.
I'm sorry to button, but something really major has happened. 2 crores. Kane Williamson to Gujarat Titans. They have their opening batsman for just 2 crores. Base price.
For Kane Williamson?
Absolutely. Gujarat Titans. We were talking about that they need an opening batsman to partner with Shubman Gill. That's the spot that they're looking for, partnering Shubman Gill with Kane Williamson at the top of the order. There you go.
No, I think Kane Williamson is a good choice, but at the top order?
Where else are you going to bat him? Where else in a T20 lineup? Because at number 3 and number 4, they have power hitters coming in. So he opens with Shubman Gill and he holds one end together, and Shubman Gill, he goes Gaga at the other end. So
All right, Harry Brook in action.
Yeah.
So we've got the first complete purchase from today. That's on your screen. Of course, Kane Williamson. He was going to be picked by someone. He brings in a lot of experience, and he can be a good mentor for some of your other players in the side as well. Just a very soothing, calm, composed energy in the room, which is sometimes you need when you're playing T20 and very, very high energetic matches. So 2 crore for him, sold to the Gujarat Titans. We can already note this down. Let's see who is up. Harry Brook is up next. The current bid is at 3 lakhs. I think the RCB is interested in him.
Yeah.
So what about Harry Brook, Chetan, that you think the franchises might want to break the bank for?
Ben Stokes had really high praise for him, that he could be an all-format player like Virat Kohli for England. I think, and obviously if RCB are looking at him, probably they agree. And, they probably might not have Glenn Maxwell during the IPL, for the entire season, maybe some part of the season later, the second half. So they need, after AB de Villiers left, so they need somebody who can be a...
He was noticed in the 100, right?
Yeah, he was noticed in the 100, but he's also done really well in the Test series against Pakistan. He really,
of course.
batted really well there. So they need somebody, with an X factor in their top 4-5, especially if Glenn Maxwell is not going to be there. So I think could be a good option for us.
So I believe the Rajasthan Royals and both Royal Challengers Bangalore are in a bidding war for him. The base price for him is 1.5 crores. We've got the bid at 4.2 crores currently. Young English player, the bidding is still going on. 4.6 I can see, 4.8. So I think he's going to be a mega millionaire by this evening already.
Yeah, 5 crores. We've already touched 5 crores. RCB with 5 crores at the moment. So
yeah, 5 crores.
Yeah,
wait a minute. I want to see if anybody is entering at 5 crores.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. And, he's an attacking batsman. High praise from Ben Stokes and, to be watched out, especially in RCB. I mean, I'm not sure what Rajasthan Royals, where they might want to fit him in. Obviously, you need bench strength, but with RCB, he would straight away start in their playing 11. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
of that.
and RCB don't really have much more to spare actually as far as their purse is concerned this year. So if they're going to break the bank for him, the bidding is now at 5.75 crores.
Sunrisers have entered.
Sunrisers have entered, but they have all the purse in the world to do this. 6 crores now.
I don't think RCB are going to bid anymore because they have 8 crores.
They don't have the budget.
They don't have the budget, yeah.
They have 8.5 crores. I think this guy is reaching that.
Yeah.
So they're going to just pack off after this one bid for the season?
No, I think they've already pulled out. I think they're not even bidding. I think it's between
It's
SRH
beyond their
and,
reach now, I think.
Yeah, I think it's between SRH and Rajasthan now. The RCB are not even raising their paddle anymore.
I like this thing about SRH, and I've seen this in the previous auction also. They really don't like to waste time. They only enter after 5 crores.
They've got all the money to do this. And it's going up and it's going up and it's only going up. It's 7.25 now. So I think this young man is going to be very, very excited watching what is happening in the IPL auction right now from a base price of 1.5 crores. I think he's going to settle at least 6 crores above that. Yes, the bid is now 7.5 crores. So what, just for the benefit of our viewers, Chetan, explain why we're seeing such an interest in Harry Brook.
Well, like I said, he's an attacking batsman. He's not afraid to play his shots. Ben Stokes just recently said after the Pakistan series that he can be an all-format batsman. Like Virat Kohli, which is like really heady praise. The English are prone to hyperbole, beg your pardon, but they are. But Harry Brooks, if he can do that in the IPL, set it up, and he was, like Srini said, that he was first eyed in the 100. So,
and also the ability to kind of innovate, I think, the kind of shots
absolutely.
that he can play.
Yeah, so when I say attacking cricket, not just, going at a higher clip, just play around the wicket, attack the bowler, attack the field, more importantly.
Yeah, in the mold for 360 degree.
And I'm just thinking, we're at 8 crores for Harry Brooks. We have Cameron Green and Sam Curran and everybody else still to come. So they're crossing 12, 14 today easily.
Yeah. So we've got the bid currently at 8.25 crores for Harry Brook. We've got the Sunrisers and the Rajasthan Royals really looking and discussing deeply at it. If you look at their teams, the Rajasthan Royals, you think they really, really need him, Srini, as far as the Rajasthan Royals are concerned?
Well, at the end of the day, I know for sure that, Rajasthan Royals and the core of that franchise operates so closely from England, and, the way they have tracked, their IPL journey. A lot has been driven from England, that philosophy, and I think
he was also
okay. We've got the bid now moving, so bid is actually nearing 9 crores,
and
the Rajasthan Royals also don't have that much money.
That's what I was going to say. They've
got 13 crores.
Yeah.
So they cannot possibly exhaust it. The Sunrisers possibly can outbid most teams today as far as the players they really, really want.
And also why they're going for Harry Brooks is because obviously he was also part of the World T20 squad, which England recently won. And of course, Josh Butler was there and he's a vital cog, as Srini said, in the Rajasthan Royals camp. If you look at their current batsmen, you have Yashasvi Jaiswal, Sanju Samson, Devdutt Padikkal, and their finishers are Shimron Hetmeyer and Riyan Parag. So again, they're lacking, beyond Josh Butler, they're lacking that X-factor batsman in their top 4-5. Last year, they had to rotate a lot between Devdutt Padikkal and Yashasvi Jaiswal. And Shimron Hetmeyer, as good a batsman he is, he really did not kick off. So if you have somebody like a Harry Brooks coming in there, I'm pretty sure Josh Butler has... told them.
I think they really want him because they're still staying in the bid at almost 10 crores.
Yes.
Srini.
So
So
is
I
it-
think
is
Josh
it-
Butler really wants him.
Is it RR that's holding right now?
Yes, no, they're discussing. I think
They're
it's
discussing. The bid
yes,
is at
now it's-
9.75. RR has bid again. So this is at 10 crores now.
Yes.
They're
Right,
certainly staying
right,
with it.
right,
Yes. Now it's up to SRH to see if they want to go
SRH
higher.
will go all the way, I think.
And they will raise. Yes, of course they will raise.
So we've already
Well,
got like a
there
very
you go.
tense
Like,
battle going on. So
Sometimes
just
I forget the SRH owner just forgets to. Somebody has to remind her that listen.
I'm just surprised they're not on the phone. I mean, I was really surprised. Matlab, AirPods le lo na. You have so much money. They had those wires and they were like, AirPods le lo yaar. They've come with AirPods today, I think. It's interesting. They've got them in a corner, haven't they? I mean, Rajasthan
Yeah.
Royals have
Yeah,
13 crores.
yes,
it's
yes,
at 10
yes.
crores.
it's
so
at 10.5 crores now. So effectively, they're exhausting the entire purse. if
and
they
they've
go.
raised it. And
They've
they've
raised
raised
it?
it. Sunrisers Hyderabad, they've raised it to 10.75 crores.
Yeah.
I think what RR is going to be left with is Harry Broke.
I think they made the finals. Perhaps that's all they need. They made the finals. Just they have to take that one step, and Harry Brooks
Oh.
probably gives them that one step in the middle order. They need that extra.
I must say this is quite a brave run from RR.
Yeah.
You know, to
It's
put,
at 11 crores now.
I mean, yes, and talk about putting all your eggs in one basket.
Or the strategy is
They're
that
still
they
going. They're
drive
still
up
going.
drive up the cost for
There
the
you
Still
go.
growing.
This is-
11.5 crores. They're still going.
11.5
This is really
crores
excellent
now.
from Rajasthan Royals.
And she ups it.
That's
11.75.
That's conviction. I mean, I really appreciate.
Yeah,
what
but please remember,
Rajasthan Royals is
they've got
doing here.
13.5 crores.
Sorry to talk over you. Rajasthan Royals at 12 crores out of 13 crores.
I don't know what's happening. So look at the Rajasthan side. They've got Sanju Samson, Joss Butler, Devdutt, Yashasvi, Shimron Heitmeyer, Dhruv, Riyan Parag, Ravi Ashwin, Trent Bolt, Yuzvendra Chahal, Prasidh Krishna.
But again, you
Obed
just look at
McCoy,
their
Kuldeep Sen, Kuldeep Yadav, Navneet Saini.
They're
I'm
ready.
not wondering, I'm not getting this.
No, I am because again, like I said, last year they were actually revolving between Yashasvi Jaiswal and Devdutt Padikkal at 3-4, and you had Sanju Samson at 3, and then they had to just revolve between them at 4 and 5, and then Shimron Hetmeyer did not have enough deliveries left when he used to come at number 5 or 6. So they
not
need
so.
a number 4
Yeah.
batsman
Oh.
there at Harry Brooks. Again,
They've
13
got-
crores,
they've got
13
13
crores out of
crores.
So they've
13.5
exhausted their
crores.
entire budget
They
on
said-
Harry
And they've
Brook.
exhausted-
I
I
think
am
this
telling
has
you,
come directly from Joss
that's
Butler.
what she's asking. I think that's what she's asking. Have they exhausted it yet?
No, it's 13.5 or
They have
13.75.
13.5 something.
13.2,
I
yeah.
don't think they can go beyond this.
And that's the thing. Sunrisers Hyderabad, they have a team to buy. Out of 42 crores, they're spending 13 crores.
I think
on
one
Harry
of the
Brooks.
things about why Rajasthan is going for him is actually they've got a spot open for an overseas player in their playing 11.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He
Yeah.
can bat at number 3 or 4. You can have Sanju Samson at number 3. You can open with Devdutt Padikkal and Joss Butler or Yashasvi Jaiswal. So they had to revolve those opening partnerships with Joss Butler a lot last year. Then you have Sanju Samson at 3 and Harry Brooks comes at number 4.
It's at 13.25.
And that's where Rajasthan stops.
I think Rajasthan has a little bit more, maybe for one more bid.
Let me
But
just
then
check.
they would have exhausted it. They've got 13.2. No, I think they've exhausted it. So the bid is at 13.25. Rajasthan Royals are locked in a battle and it's sold to Sunrisers
Yep.
because they've exhausted and
Well,
possibly pulled right. So after all of that drama, Rajasthan Royals managed to drive up the price for Sunrisers Hyderabad, who might not be complaining. So let's look at the Sunrisers Hyderabad team now. They've got Harry Brook for 13.25 crores, right?
Yes.
13.25 crores. We've got Mayank Agarwal being bid on. I'll just come back to that in just a bit. 13.25 already the biggest sale for today. So Harry Brook in the Sunrisers Hyderabad, frankly, there's no point assessing it because they've got a brand new team to build anyways.
And he walks straight away into the playing
Yeah,
11.
he walks straight
and
away.
it tells us what Rajasthan Royals are trying to do. They are trying to get a batsman who walks into their playing 11 in the top 4.
And a foreign player.
And a foreign player. I mean, it could be anybody. It could be an Indian player as well.
No, they've got enough Indian batting options.
Yes, but again, so they have an overseas slot open, so they're not scared to fill that
Go
up
for
as
it.
well. And Punjab Kings are bidding for Mayank Agarwal.
Not a
because
surprise there,
Obviously,
again.
you have your captain, you release him, and then you go back and bid for him. Oh my God, this happens in IPL all the time.
All the time. So we've got many teams interested in Mayank Agarwal. Srini, not surprisingly, it's at 2.4 crores right now. His base price was 1 crore, if I remember correctly. And you've got, lots of teams interested in him. RCB is interested in him.
RCB, I'm just looking at the RCB
potentially
squad.
an opening batsman or potentially a captain. I mean, so many boxes that Mayank Agarwal ticks, and of course, a Star India name. So all of those elements actually add a lot.
At 7 crores, Sunrisers will come in.
Yeah,
no?
yeah, I'm
At
waiting.
7 crores, Sunrisers will
waiting.
come in.
I'm waiting.
But Sunrisers need everybody. So they can bid for whoever they want. So
And they
the
just
bid
showed
is
us.
between Punjab and RCB right now for Mayank Agarwal. Let's also put his base price up for our viewers, although of course it's not much of a surprise. Let's look at their teams then. Punjab. They've got Shikhar Dhawan, Bairstow. They've got Liam Livingstone. And of course, good bowling lineup that they have. But yeah, they do need a bolstering of their batting lineup, isn't it?
They do. Well, their top order is pretty much fixed. I mean, you have Dhawan, Bairstow, Livingston. You have Bhanuka Rajpaksa, who's an amazing batsman against spin. I think their top 4 is fixed. And last year they struggled. Last season they struggled to actually fit in Mayank Agarwal. In one of the games, he actually batted at number 5. He was
That's
the
what
captain.
I'm saying. What are they bidding him for which spot? They don't need captaincy
I mean, he's not the
material.
captain, so he can sit on the bench easily now,
Okay, so let's see
You
how
can't
much are
drop
they
the
willing to
captain.
bid for someone who is going to be warming their
Absolutely.
belt. The bid is already nearing 4 crores.
Shivani, I'm
It's at
actually
3 point-
interested. I'm actually interested in what RCB are doing here because look, they have Faf who opened for them. They had Anuj Rawat who opened for them, and they also had Rajat Patidar. These guys batted in the top 4. Then you had Virat Kohli who opened at some point. They are looking for a top order batsman, RCB, which is interesting. But again, they only have 8 crores, and that's when probably Sunrisers will jump in and say, okay, you know what? Everybody out. He's our
I'm also
player.
thinking is RCB looking at a future captain here.
Probably.
Why
Local
Faf
boy.
is a good captain for them.
How long?
How
2
long?
seasons, 3 seasons. But this is a long-term. This could be a long-term pick.
And local boy just adds to the whole thing.
And they need that. And
Yeah.
they need that after KL Rahul left, and obviously Manish Pandey hasn't worked out for them in the past.
Well, but RCB has, I think, they're already 50% into their entire.
Chennai enter. Chennai
budget.
enter for Mayank
Then has
Agarwal.
come in.
And
It is-
Sunrisers
Sunrisers enter
Hyderabad.
as well. Sunrisers entering
Yeah,
at about
right there,
5
they
lakh,
didn't waste,
5 crore
time.
mark.
Yeah, I thought 7 crore. They'll come in at 7 crore, but they've come in at 5.
Yeah. But, I'm not sure, I mean, not to take anything away from Mayank Agarwal, but, he's been around, he's been tried and tested.
Yeah.
He hasn't really stuck with the team and he hasn't really, been able to do the kind of damage that, maybe he was tapped for. And he's 31.
Yeah.
He's not the youngest player around.
Yeah, he's not. Also, yes, that's something that you've said. That's absolutely true. But also, he was in the Punjab setup for a long time, and Punjab setup, their tactics can be a little confusing at times. You have KL Rahul who's holding one end up, and then you want Chris Gayle and Mayank Agarwal to, pair up, score freely. So Punjab, their batting strategies have been really mixed up over the years. So, I want to see him free from Punjab's shackles in a way. I really don't want him to go back to Punjab. I want to see what Mayank Agarwal can do when he's, away
Maybe
from the
with
Punjab.
the RCB.
Maybe the RCB, yes, and definitely.
So now
Sunrisers
we've
Hyderabad.
got CSK and Sunrisers in the bidding.
Yeah, I'm surprised CSK coming in for Mayank Agarwal. Just want to check the CSK.
So CSK, of course, they've got Ruturaj, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Jadeja, Conway, Dubey, Raidu.
Again, yes.
yeah.
So
So maybe
that's
an
an interesting
overseas.
lineup, right? Look, he obviously bats in the top 4, maybe top 3, not lower than that. Probably opens. So again, with Chennai, looking at their current batsmen, you have Ruturaj Gaikwad and Devon Conway and Moeen Ali. That's their top 3 from last season. And Devon Conway
They've
probably.
got Raidu too.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to come to. First of all, Devon Conway, he could partner with Ruturaj Gaikwad. So you have 2 Indian openers. That frees up an overseas slot for later, like an all-rounder or a pacer, somebody like a Sam Curran coming in. And then also you need a long-term replacement for Ambati Raidu. I mean, yes, Mayank Agarwal is 31, but Raidu is still higher up there. So, and obviously MS Dhoni, he will only bat at number 7, 6 or 7. So he doesn't face too many deliveries. So you need a top order batsman who can, who has a bit of a longevity about him.
But I'm wondering, can CSK afford to block 8 crores for him right now?
They have 20.45.
They've
so
got
spend
money.
8 and then buy Sam Curran for 12.
No, but the Sam
not
Curran
coming,
bidding is
but
not going to
right
stay at
now
12.
the
I
trend
don't
I
is
think
just
so.
very
said,
clear.
I don't
Sam
think so.
Curran is. I don't think Sunrisers is going to even enter the bid until 10 crore for Sam Curran.
Yeah. I don't
Let's
think
see.
Sam Curran
I mean,
is getting
Harry Brooks
sold
at
for
13
12.
crores, though Sam Curran is definitely going to 20.
He's possibly breaking the record today. So this is a list of some of the players that have been sold. We've seen 3 top marquee players being sold. Kane Williamson at 2 crore. We've got, of course, Harry Brook, who's gone for 13.25. We are waiting for the result from Mayank Agarwal, who was obviously going to be one of the most sought-after Indian players in fray, opening batsman and good captaincy material. We were thinking some of the teams that we discussed, the teams that would ideally go for him, but we're seeing a bidding war between Chennai and SRH right now. The current bid is 7.75 crores. So this is an interesting, once again, an interesting bidding that has taken place. Not, Srini, you can never really predict what the teams will go for, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's interesting. There's a lot of calculations, and I'm sure everybody studies everybody else. But every time, I don't think in the last 10 or so years, we've been able to identify any patterns. They always throw up some surprises.
Right. But I think, Shivani, there's also this thing where if you cut through the clutter, you'll see that this is a horses for courses strategy. And I also think that, with Mayank, you look at it, Sunrisers staying in this race to, although I can't figure out why CSK is doing this, but with Sunrisers, it's clear. There's a captaincy material right now going for them.
CSK, Mayank Agarwal, Sunrisers Hyderabad,
There you
again,
go, they got the
8.25
captain.
crores.
8.25 crores. I think that's not a bad price for him.
And I had mentioned
Sunrisers
that.
do need to bolster their their entire lineup. So in that sense, I think they've done a good job with him.
And I had mentioned that because not a lot of teams need an Indian batsman at the top. We saw how many teams needed him. Maybe RCB needs him, maybe CSK needs him, but Sunrisers needs him the most. So again, at that price, at 8.25 crores, it's a mega buy for Sunrisers.
Yeah.
It's a captain, potentially a captain buy. And now we have Ajinkya Rahane. So somebody like a CSK who needs an Indian batsman in the top 3, Ajinkya Rahane could come at much cheaper price because his base price is 50
His base
lakhs.
price is 50 lakhs. I think he's also been pretty reasonable as far as his base price is concerned.
And Dhoni
Again,
likes Ajinkya. Dhoni likes Ajinkya as a T20 batsman.
as a T20 batsman. But again, you have to figure it, since you guys were mentioning about a future outlook, he is 34 years old. He's played about 158 IPL matches. His strike rate is 120. A best is a century knock. 50 lakhs is where the bid still stands. It's been 30-40 seconds.
And
I don't think...
I think
Maybe
CSK have got him for 50 lakhs. CSK have got...
No, he's been bought at his base price of 50
Yeah.
lakhs. No bids from anybody, but CSK have backed him. So...
And that's a top 3, top 4 batsman for you. Maybe a replacement for Devon Conway, opening with Ruturaj Gaikwad, or batting in place of Ambati Raidu, or just slotting in
Joe
along
Root is
with
coming up. Let's see. I mean, Ajinkya Rahane and Joe Root, similar kinds of players as far as the T20 format is concerned. Let's see if he goes at his base price. I don't know. His base
Let's
price
see if
is
anybody
1
buys
crore.
him. Let's see if anybody buys him.
That's what I'm
the
saying. If he
huge
goes at his
question.
base price or if he goes unsold, Joe Root is coming up.
And you
His base
mentioned-
price is...
And you had
1
mentioned 34 for Ajinkya Rahane. That's pretty young for a CSK squad. That's where the
They like the
youngsters-
daddies, right?
Yes.
As they say. So I'm just marking Ajinkya for CSK.
Unsold.
Joe Root is
I think unsold.
possibly going unsold.
Unsold. I think the first unsold today.
Yeah, the
yes,
first
unsold. Joe Root. I
Right.
expected that. I
Understandable.
expected that a bit.
Yeah.
Because, the kind of batsman he is, you have somebody like a Ajinkya Rahane or you have somebody like a Kane Williamson. Kane Williamson, much more marketable, much more dependable, much more consistent. Joe Root, I mean, he's not even in his national
Right.
T20 side. So why spend 2 crores when you can get Ajinkya Rahane for 50 lakhs? So probably.
Yeah. An Indian player versus a foreign player, a foreign spot.
Of that mold, the kind of
yeah,
batsman
the
that
same
Joe Root
similar
is.
type of
Yeah.
mold, but you'll always go for an Indian if one is available in that sense. If you needed somebody, Riley Russo is up. I was mentioning him. He's at 2 crore base price. He's an explosive batsman. We've seen what he's done. You need that kind of talent always in an Indian Premier League, isn't it?
Absolutely. And Rajasthan could make a beeline for him because we saw they needed an explosive batsman in their top 4-5. So Rajasthan Royals could come back here and he will come much cheaper than 13 crores maybe. I mean, they need an explosive batsman. somebody like Harry Brooks, and they made their intentions pretty clear what they wanted to do today.
It's
so
the age again.
He's gone
33
unsold.
going on
he's
34.
gone unsold
He's gone unsold. I think his problem
33
is his
going on
base
34.
price.
at 34, probably. I mean, you know, the
No, his
unsold
base
players
price
come
is
back.
2 crores. It's too high.
I mean, they would not want to bid right now on him because they're saving their purse for the bigger players like Cameron
Yeah.
Green or Sam Curran or Ben Stokes. I wouldn't be surprised if you know, later in the day
Right.
they bring back Riley Russo and he's picked up. at
Somebody
2
picks
crores.
him up, but
Yeah.
I still think his base price is too high. Given the kind of given that this is a mini auction, the purses are going to be mostly exhausted for most teams. By the time they go and do some silent auctions, it's going to be very, very difficult. I think we've got a break coming up on the auctions now. So yeah, let's assess what has happened so far. Srini, your comments. We've got 2 unsold, Joe Root and Riley Russo. We've got Kane Williamson, Harry Brook, Mayank Agarwal, Ajinkya Rahane, all being picked up.
Mayank Agarwal, I think, is the buy so far for me. Sunrisers Hyderabad, they've got him at 8.25 crore, and I think they've got their captain, they've got an opener sorted for them, and a good name to lead, Although and the other point that really caught my attention so far in the auction is the conviction with which Rajasthan Royals went for Harry Brook. They did not mind putting all their entire budget for one player. That shows exactly what you want and how prepared you are.
So now,
arrived at the
Chetan,
auction.
now that they haven't managed to get Harry Brook, who else do you think Rajasthan will go for with their limited price purse?
I mean, yes, limited price purse, but you have to slug it out, don't you? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they go for Cameron Green. I mean, yes, he probably won't go for 13 crores, but they have to try because they're looking for an explosive batsman. They're looking for a batsman who can take on the bowlers, maneuver the field, and somebody who just walks into their playing 11 because they have an overseas spot open. And and the big thing with Rajasthan is, like Srini said, they know what they're doing. And why are they doing that? Because they bought a fantasy 11 last year. Pretty simple. They bought a playing 11 last year. They're just adding a piece to it. They're just, just finishing off the jigsaw puzzle this year. So they've shown us their cards. That's the problem, that they've shown us their cards and it could hurt them in the, as the auction goes on. But because again, their purse is
low,
limited.
and now because
I want to
they
say
went-
limited at 13 crores, but that's
it's
weird.
limited because of what they're chasing. Now, as Srini said, it's become quite obvious, as you're saying, it's become quite obvious what they're chasing, and they're willing to break the bank for that one person. Possibly they're looking for that one big buy today. So if they've already revealed those cards, Srini, the other teams could actually outbid them.
Yeah, and
Drive up the price.
But I still think that the real names have still not started coming up
course.
yet, and all these franchises actually need money. So they really.
Yeah, you spoke about Mayank Agarwal being, the best buy. I think Kane Williamson an equally good buy because Gujarat Titans again not the finalists, the winners last time around. Again, they're looking for very particular buys and they have a budget. They're looking for potentially a wicketkeeper. They're potentially looking for an all-rounder, potentially a fast bowler of great pedigree. So getting Kane Williamson and bolstering their batting bench strength, I think at 2 crores is fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, and
business.
actually, you look at their side, they've got a lot of good Indian talent.
Yes.
They needed some foreign talent.
Yes.
And I think Kane Williamson fits that bill in that respect as well. Because, apart from David Miller, Rashid Khan, I
And
think
they
they've
still
got
have
their
quite a bit
other...
of money left, right? I
Yeah,
think
they
they have
do.
around 18 crore left.
That's what they picked up.
They've
Kane
got money.
Williamson. They picked up Kane Williamson at base price. Fantastic business.
So 17 crores still left for them.
17
Okay.
something
Yeah.
still left. And more importantly, I mean, last year we saw Matthew Wade. They tried him as an opening partner with
Yeah.
Shubman Gill. It did not work.
I think he's going to miss out on a spot maybe.
Probably because then you can play Vridhiman Saha as your
Yeah.
wicketkeeper and he can bat at number 3 or number 4 and give that impetus. And Kane Williamson bats in the top 3. So they, again, like I said, they have, when you bolster your bench strength with somebody like Kane Williamson and at base price, I think that's fantastic business.
Yeah, but the only point I was making is that he's not going to be their Ben strength, I think. He'll find a place in the
No,
playing
what
eleven.
what I meant was that they're bolstering their batting strength,
Yeah.
basically. So
Yeah.
he walks into the playing 11, there's no doubt about that.
All right,
Okay,
I'm
so
back in there.
Ajinkya Rahane with the CSK. Srini, thoughts on that?
Well,
Again,
you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm happy for Ajinkya. I'm happy for Ajinkya given the season that went by, given the kind of form that he finds himself in, given the overall struggles that are going on with him. I'm happy that he's in the race and, a franchise has actually shown faith. Let's see.
If I can add a point, last year, one of the biggest negatives or drawbacks for CSK was their fielding. Ajinkya is a fantastic 34, but
good
like I
fielder.
said, but he's a fantastic fielder, outfielder, catcher, and everything. So I think they've got a good buy, 50 lakhs, and
There's only
bolsters their
one
top
thing
order.
that worries me, for Ajinkya to actually click and,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
scheme of things, he has to become the cricketer that he's not.
No,
you
that's
know, and in that lies the whole struggle.
no, because when MS Dhoni was T20 captain and he backed Ajinkya Rahane as your top 3 batsman, and he likes Ajinkya the way he plays T20 cricket. So I think it's a perfect fit, and somebody like MS Dhoni who
And
can
it's
really
not
back
like
him.
he's not done it in the past. We've seen what he's
Yeah.
managed with Rajasthan Royals
and
in the
Delhi
past.
Capitals Delhi Capitals as well.
But where do you guys stand on this whole theory about the quintessential T20 player? We've got several people, Srini, who've broken that mindset that there is a certain quintessential T20 player, and we've seen those who are not also succeed. I mean, Kane Williamson is a good example for his national side as well.
Right. I mean, so yeah, I think it's all in the mind, and if you're good enough, I mean, we see, so towards the end of Rahul Dravid's career, in fact, when we saw him, what he did with Rajasthan Royals as a player, I don't think it at that time it took everybody by surprise, like, oh my God, this is the version of Rahul that we probably could have seen more. I mean, towards the end of his career when he was batting for Rajasthan Royals, and the same is what Ajinkya Rahane picked from. So I think, yeah, it's a matter of all, how you approach your cricket over the years and kind of reputation that you've built around yourself.
Yeah, I think also what we've seen the trend across the world, I think there's always one spot in the top 3 or 4, or at least top 3, if not top 4, because I think top 4 is a bit late. One spot there for a batsman like Ajinkya Rahane or Kane Williamson in that particular mold, who are not big boundary hitters, but they'll find the gaps, they'll keep the score ticking, and they'll hold one end together. So I think one batsman in any T20 lineup, a top 2 or a top 3, can be that batsman. And I think with 10 teams, there's a big market for those kind of batsmen. We've just seen Kane Williamson being sold. Similarly, we've just seen Ajinkya Rahane. So I think they are of the same mold. And you look at the world champions, David Malan. I mean, he was a former T20 world #1 ranking player. England probably did not know what his best position was. They were revolving him with Ben Stokes during the World Cup. But again, he was a part. And I think one of the games when their batting was in trouble, he rescued them. And, that really works. That particular type of batsman, it works.
Okay, so let's talk about Sunrisers Hyderabad, because they're the ones who obviously have the most money to spend, and they've already picked up 2 players. They've spent 21.5 of their budget of 42. So half their budget has gone in 2 players. And as we were talking about, Srini, they've got to pick so many more. I think they have spots for at least 11, 12 more.
Yeah, and they still have 24 crore left, 25 crore.
21
That's a lot of
crores
money.
left.
See, they'll pick their core, 7, 8 players at
So they've
good
got their
prices.
opening batsman.
Yes,
right?
and captain, potentially.
And potential captain, Harry Brook, Mayank Agarwal.
That's
Look
2
at,
players who walk into the playing 11.
yeah. So other than that, they've got Rahul Tripathi,
Third, that's their 3rd player in playing 11.
Makram,
Washington
Yeah.
Sundar.
Washington Sundar, Aiden Markram. Again, Aiden Markram had a good IPL season for them
Yeah.
at number 4,
and
number
that's where
5.
it ends actually for them. Then the
No,
bowling
they
lineup
have-
starts.
Yeah, but again, bowling lineup counts in the playing 11.
No,
right?
I'm saying that they're batting as far as that is concerned. So do you think they'll go for one big all-rounder?
They have the money for it.
They have the money
for
and
it.
they will go. They'll
And
definitely,
need-
definitely going for one of the guys between Green and Karn, and that looks like a certainty right now, because Stokes, I think probably they did not have their captain in place, but now with Mayank in, I think they kind of have the freedom to go after an all-rounder.
An all-rounder,
One
right?
of the 2.
Because the bowling lineup, they've got Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Umran Malik, Natarajan. They've got who else? Okay, we'll find out. But yeah, I mean, maybe one bowler, one all-rounder is what they need. One out-and-out bowler and one all-rounder.
The ease with which they got Mayank Agarwal, that told me that they were never going to get an overseas captain. They were like, okay, you guys keep bidding, we'll enter and we'll swoop on Mayank Agarwal. So that's their captaincy pick. Yes, definitely they need an all-rounder in there, because
and maybe one
wicket-keeper?
bowler.
yeah, I mean they could go back for Nicholas Puran again
Or
at base
Liton Das.
price. Again,
Litton
yes,
does.
definitely. So, I mean, that 24 crores is a lot of money to play with.
21.
21, yes.
It's not actually, given the way things are going for some of the top bidders. Unless you have
Just trying
identified
to-
people that nobody really wants. And then you can get like you did, like some got Kane Williamson and Ajinkya Rahane at base price. But I think they
Yeah.
could be in some problem.
Okay, so sorry, I was just a little bit late to the party, but I've just found out the existing squad. So Rahul Tripathi, Abhishek Sharma. Let's leave aside Abhishek Sharma for a bit. Rahul Tripathi, Aiden Markram, they already had 2 starters. Washington Sundar, 3rd. T. Natarajan, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, that's 5. And Umran Malik, 6. And Marco Jensen, obviously he doesn't start. So 6 starters they already had.
So they need 5 players.
Yeah, and you add Mayank Agarwal and,
And
Harry
Harry
Brooks,
Brook.
so that's 8. So they need only 3 starters. And then they have then they go for their bench strength. And bench strength you usually build with base
So
price
what I am
players.
thinking is that what they're missing is one big name. I'm sorry to say, still. Harry Brook, young guy, new guy. Mayank Agarwal, possibly a captain
Yeah,
material,
yeah.
but he's not going to be the bulk of their batting. So I think they need a big all-rounder name and they need one big bowler as well. We've got Shakib Al Hasan, speaking of the all-rounders, up for grabs now. Base price of 1.5 crores. Again, not the youngest guys around, and there is Litton Das from his country who's also in the auction. So there could be some compatriot competition. But Shakib Al Hasan, we all know what he's capable of. And in this format, I think many teams would be very interested for him. Let's see. He's gone unsold. Oh my God, just as I say. Unsold Shakib Al Hasan. Maybe the base price was too high.
Is the impact player beginning to talk?
Yes, the impact on the all-rounders.
The impact of the impact player
Yes.
rule.
Sam Curran.
Sam Curran is
Let's-
up. Okay,
let's
I
leave that
think this
conversation
is
for a
the
bit.
meat of the auction today.
Yes.
Let's focus on Sam Curran.
Let's see how much can we predict. I mean, I'll say
look at the pace at which it's going.
I'll say 14 crores at least for him. Shivani, you
Yeah,
tell me.
I think 14 to 16 crores.
Probably
what do you think?
could go on to become the costliest player.
Costliest player.
costliest player.
Ever in IPL
No,
history?
not ever.
Not ever.
Yeah, I mean, like after probably costliest players since the mega auction and now.
Okay.
So going beyond Ishan. probably.
Okay, it's already at 5 crores. It's already
Yeah,
at
this
5
is
crores.
going to skyrocket. 5 crores. The bid is between 5.5.
Mumbai Indians for the first time.
Mumbai Indians want him.
First time they are in for today.
Chennai is not bidding for him.
Not yet.
Not yet.
6.5, 6.75.
So we've got Mumbai Indians and
RCB are out. RCB are out
Okay,
at 6.
that's interesting actually.
RCB are out at 6.75. Mumbai Indians have him at 6.75. That'll be a big buy at 6.75.
no, I think
No,
this
it's
will
gone
go up.
7.
This will go
I
up.
think it's
7.
going to go on for a while. So at 7, who all are there right now?
Mumbai Indians and Rajasthan Royals.
Okay, so Sunrisers has still not done anything, right?
Yeah, no, nothing yet.
Mumbai Indians.
8.5.
Interesting.
8.5. Mumbai Indians,
Okay.
I love the way
With-
they
with
raise their paddle.
The way MI, kind of goes. I mean, this is what they did with Ishan. This is what they're doing with Sam.
They just enter. They know we want this player. We'll keep on raising our paddle. You up your game. What is the budget they have?
What is the budget? I was just
Well,
looking
I'm-
at
I'm-
that.
exactly, I'm
Mumbai have
heading there.
20.5 crores.
Yeah, so this will go high.
It's,
It's already
already
10
nearing
crores.
10 crores.
It's already 10
Alright,
crores.
okay.
10 crores.
Well, they have almost 20.5 crore.
Yeah, 20 and a half.
20.5 crore.
Again, Sunrisers
Yes,
So
haven't
let's
entered yet.
let's look
You
at
know,
the
look at
Mumbai
the-
side. No, what is it
Yeah.
that they need?
They need to
Well,
replace Kieran Pollard. Let's just leave
I
it
can-
there.
I can still
Because
see
Kieran Pollard was one of their starting players, all-rounder. Obviously, he did not bowl as much. But again, you get Sam Curran, who bowls a
Direct
lot.
replacement.
Direct replacement and, dare I say, a better replacement, at least in terms of the bowling. Because he's going to bowl 4 overs, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big things.
replacement,
And I think the other
search is
thing they
on.
might possibly need is a little bit of bolstering of their bowling lineup. as
Absolutely, yes. And with Jofra Archer, Jasprit Bumrah, obviously injury-prone.
Injury
Jofra
prone, yeah.
Archer as well. So,
well. So they don't need to buy much. They just need to buy Sam Curran and one more.
one more, yeah. and that's how Mumbai operates. So.
Oh, some issues have happened. It looks like somebody's asking some
The
questions.
paddle was raised twice and there was a slight confusion.
11.25 is where the bid is for Sam Curran. I think we are nearing the mark that Chetan and I have predicted. I think he's going to go for 14 plus easily.
Could be.
Unless one of the teams goes out of their budget. Who's the other team bidding for him?
We have Rajasthan Royals, which is at 13 crores. So at 13 crores, they lose. They lose out again.
They lose out at
All
13
right,
crores.
okay, they've crossed their budget and this goes to Mumbai Indians unless
Not yet. at 13.2 crores is what the Rajasthan Royals have. That's their entire kitty. So if this goes beyond that, then I think Mumbai will win, unless, of course, someone else comes in. So the
Exactly,
bid is
and
at
I'm surprised
11.5.
that,
We're waiting for Sunrisers to do something. But
So-
Chennai certainly are not going for him.
So Mumbai Indians usually operate with three
Is
paces.
Punjab trying to say something there?
There's some confusion, I think, with the multiple raising of the paddle. Okay, Mumbai Indians, they operate with, they operate with three paces. That's their formula, and I think Rohit Sharma has also tried to replicate that formula for the Indian team. And you look at, their pace attack. Last year we did not have Jofra Archer. They had Jasprit Bumrah, Jason Behrendorff, Arshad Khan, Akash Madwal, and then you had Kiran Pollard bowling a few overs after a long time last season. It did not work out too well. They used to have Trent Bolt, Jasprit Bumrah, and Nathan Coulter-Nile. That was their three-bowler pace attack. So Mumbai, with that formula, they're trying to rebuild that formula with Sam Curran, because he will definitely, bowl 4 overs. And as I speak, there are 5 teams in the fray now.
Chennai has entered. Chennai has entered. Punjab
Chennai
has
has come
entered.
in.
Rajasthan is there. Gujarat Titans have entered.
Rajasthan are out because it's at 13.5
Yes.
CR.
Now they're out. So 4 teams still there. You've got Punjab, Chennai, Mumbai,
Kings 11 out.
and
we are at 14 crores.
one more interested. So
And
Chennai
I
is
wanna
bidding
see
for him
what is
now.
what is the money left
The
for
bid is
Chennai?
now between Punjab and the Chennai
Chennai is
team.
19.
The Chennai team
Okay,
only
so
have
if-
about 20 crores.
This is
in
about
there.
going the whole hog. MI is going to outlast them.
No, I think MI
MI
have
is
pulled
out now.
MI is out.
MI is
Yeah,
out?
MI is
Okay.
MI is out. I think past 11, they thought it's not worth it.
So Punjab has a much higher purse than Chennai currently. It's
I told
already
you,
at
Chennai.
4.5.
I told you Chennai will come in hard for Sam Curran.
But where is the space for him now?
I mean, there is.
Then
I mean,
look at their lineup now.
They don't have Bravo. Let's.
They don't have Bravo.
They
They
don't
need
have
a
Bravo.
replacement
It's a
for
direct
Bravo.
replacement, like replacement, and buying Ajinkya
Conway,
Rahane.
Moin Ali.
No. Yeah, go ahead.
One second. Conway, Moin Ali.
Yes.
In their bowling lineup, they've got Santner.
Yeah.
Not sure if he plays
Yeah.
every match.
Yeah.
I'm
because-
looking at the foreign players.
So again, with getting Ajinkya Rahane, you bench Devon Conway. He doesn't play. That frees up that overseas spot. And of course, even if you play him, there's an open spot now because Bravo's retired. He's their bowling coach now?
No, actually, they do have overseas spots open. So they can obviously get him directly in. And I think with Moin
Alright,
Ali,
this is gone past 15
Ruturaj,
crore.
Shivam Dube, Ambati Raidu, Jadeja, Dhoni, Rane, it's already a
but
batting
they
heavy-
relied on Shivam Dube last year. He had a fantastic IPL. So, he walks in. He walks into the playing 11 in
No,
place
obviously,
of Bravo.
they're buying him for now, the
Yeah.
bid is at 15.5 crores.
Yes.
They're obviously going to play him, and it's not a surprise. You can always make adjustments to some of your other teams, team members. So CSK and Punjab are going at it. As I mentioned, CSK have under 20 crores, Punjab have 32 crores. But obviously, they do need some other players as well. Possibly Chennai is done for the day. They've got Ajinkya Rahane. They're going for Sam Curran. Maybe they need one more in their bowling department.
They
They're bowling.
haven't got him yet because
I
the
mean, they're
interesting
going
point
for him.
is
They're going for him.
No, the
If they
interesting-
get him, then they need one more bowling option.
LSG have entered
Oh,
at
okay.
15 crores.
And 16
Yeah,
crores
16
now.
crores.
Lucknow Super Giants have entered. You see,
And they have money also.
Yeah, they have 23
they have
crores.
money. They have
So
23 crores.
what's
Yes.
interesting for me is that is because Punjab Kings have 32 crores, and they can just say, you know what, the price reaches 20 crores. We get him
We'll
at 20.
outbid, yeah.
Yeah, we get him at 20 crores. That's it.
Yeah, I think that can be a absolutely fair strategy for Sam Curran.
Absolutely.
Deserves
CSK
it.
pull
Sam
out,
Curran is the man of
and
the moment.
even LSG, and I think what LSG are doing is they want an all-rounder because they released Jason Holder. That's definitely they have an overseas spot to fill. They are going either for Ben Stokes or Sam Curran. So this is their filler choice, I guess.
Yeah, I think they have an opener. They have a foreign spot open as well in their playing 11. LSG is going for him. So 3 teams in the contention right now. The bid is already at 16.75.
Mumbai Indians are back. Mumbai Indians are back at 17 crores.
So we've got, we've entered the territory where we're looking at
costliest,
possibly
I guess.
records being
Where is
broken
the
out.
setting?
Yeah.
17 crores,
Yeah.
17.25 for Sam
And-
Curran. Not surprising at all. I always felt he was going to be a
And
very,
it's
very
still
coveted
going on.
player.
It's still
And
going
KL Rahul last year, LSG, I think he was at 18 crores. KL Rahul, he was the most expensive
Yeah.
marquee signing last year when LSG got him at 18. Was it 18 or 17, Srini?
I don't remember exactly.
It was something of this range. It was something of this range, and he's at 18.
He's there. He's at
Actually,
18 crores,
if you- if-
7.75. Punjab are going for him.
Yeah.
I think Punjab are looking to outbid the others. now.
18.25.
They're looking to outbid the
MI
others.
at 20.55. So, it could actually ruin the budget for Punjab because if they get him at 21 crores out of 32 crores, obviously Punjab don't need much, but still, what a terrific side they would have. And also, how would you create space for Sam Curran? Because you have what? Bairstow there.
They've got Bairstow,
Livingston, and then you have Bhanukar Rajpaksa, and then you have Kagiso Rabada.
Kagiso Rabada.
So how do you make space for Sam Curran in that lineup? I mean, yes, you drop Bhanukar Rajpaksa, but then you've already let go of Mayank Agarwal. So, yeah, again, I don't understand.
What would Sam
Punjab-
Curran be thinking right now?
I'm
Ashes?
rich.
What ashes?
I'm rich. I'm rich.
I
That's
remember
what he's
when
thinking.
they won the T20 World Cup.
He's gone. He's gone to Punjab Kings.
18.5
18.5
crores.
crores.
I think
18.5 crores. Punjab have won, and just as we were discussing their budget and their other concerns, I think this is a very, very good buy for them. Sam Curran goes
Well,
to
for the kind of
Punjab
money that they
Kings
have.
at 18.5 crores, and they've still got some money left, about 5 crores.
14,
More actually,
14.
32.
Yeah.
They've got 32, so they've got 14 crores still left. They can actually bolster a lot of other, issues for them.
Yeah, I mean, you look at their lineup now. You have Shikhar Dhawan, Johnny Bairstow, Bhanukar Rajpaksa, Liam Livingston, and then you have Kagiso Rabada, Nathan Ellis. So I think they'll have to bench one of those two players, Bhanukar Rajpaksa or Nathan Ellis. I think that's where Sam Curran slots in. Definitely walks into the playing 11. There's no doubt about that.
Now, what I'm thinking right now is, MI and Mumbai Indians have still managed to save that kind of money for themselves. Who do they go after next? Because I'm sure that they clearly have their sights on filling in for Karen Pollard. So I'm wondering now who's the next big all-rounder that they might go for.
Well, Ben Stokes. They've always wanted Ben Stokes. The last time Ben Stokes became the most expensive purchase by Rajasthan Royals, Mumbai Indians were in for him very, very deep.
But considering how MI like to kind of think futuristically,
Yeah.
probably does Ben Stokes, kind of, is that the answer? Or I'm wondering, Cameron Green or something of the sort.
Yeah, Cameron Green could be.
Well, there's Jason Holder also, and well, this is going to be interesting now. I really want to know how, for now, they're still in the game.
Well, so we are having this special broadcast for the 2023 IPL auction, and we have Chetan and Srinivas Rao right here in the studio with us. Interesting purchase by Kings 11 Punjab. They have literally bought back Sam Curran for a price that probably has broken the records.
Oh, it has definitely broken the records. 18.5 CR, probably the most expensive buy. If I remember correctly, KL Rahul was signed by LSG at 18.
For 17.
17, right. So definitely, and officially, if you see, even, he's broken the official retainership figure as well. So definitely the most expensive, and yeah, he slots in straight away. They needed that X factor, bowls those 4 overs, bats, lower order. So yeah, walks straight in that playing 11, and it was a strong Punjab lineup as it is. It's gotten even stronger.
But Srini, how does this work? Kings 11 Punjab had Sam Curran. He was not doing that badly for them. They let him go, and now they have purchased him for the price that they have bought him at. What is the logic behind this?
Well, when it comes to Punjab, I'm still trying to figure out, quite a bit of times how does logic work, and it's not just Punjab. Actually, quite a few other franchises I've seen, letting a player go. When did I last see something like this? I think what RCB had done with Chris Morris, where they thought that they were paying him a little too much at around 10 crores, so they let him go and then pursue it till 9.5 crore again when they went after him. So I don't know how these things work. Probably is it about taking a chance and seeing that if I can buy him back cheaper at the auctions, you know?
But when you know that you have a player as good as you have, I mean, there has to be some sort of, some sort of brainstorming that needs to go in before you let him go, or even before you purchase them back. Because this amount for which they have bought him, I mean, they could have easily bolstered their their batting lineup much better.
Yeah, I mean, they don't need that much. I mean, we're talking about Sam Curran, right?
Yeah.
But Punjab Kings didn't let him go. I'm sorry to correct you there. It was Chennai Super Kings before the mega auction.
Okay.
And he did not enter the auction last year because he was injured.
Oh, okay.
So Sam Curran has entered the auction afresh this year. Punjab Kings have bought him for the first time.
All right.
He walks straight away. And again, Punjab Kings, they don't need much. I mean, their batting lineup is fixed. So much so that they have to let go of Mayank Agarwal because, and he was their captain last year. So you have Shikhar Dhawan, Liam Livingstone, Johnny Bairstow up there, and then you have Kagiso Rabada, who's leading their bowling lineup. And now you have somebody who's partnering them, Sam Curran. He's a very, really reliable all-rounder there.
And who do we have now? Is Jason
We have
Holder.
Odean Smith, who is, I'm guessing.
No, Jason
it's
Holder.
Jason Holder. Sorry.
So we have Chennai and Rajasthan. So again, Chennai now have to find a replacement for Sam Curran. And, they went really high. So, they need to find somebody who's an all-rounder who fits that same mold. And again, because they have to replace Dwayne Bravo in that playing lineup. And that's what they were trying to do with Sam Curran, get him back. And now they have to do that with Jason Holder. And interestingly, it's Rajasthan Royals who have entered it, which is something that I don't understand. But yeah, there we are.
But again, correct me if I'm wrong, Chetan. Holder was with Chennai Super Kings.
He was with
earlier, right?
LSG.
He was but at some point he was with
Sunrisers
Chennai.
and then LSG. I'm not sure if he was with CSK. I don't remember. It's
No,
been
no,
15
no,
years.
no,
I don't think so. He's-
No, I know he was with LSG in the last season and he was let go.
But before that, he was with Sunrisers.
Right, exactly.
Now, LSG let him go, I think, probably with the whole, this thing that again, I mean, this is, you can never predict these things, but I thought they wanted money to raise for Ben Stokes.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, they have 23 crores.
Who do you think is going to bid the hardest for Ben Stokes?
LSG. Definitely. I think that's what we discussed at one point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I really was thinking that, probably Sunrisers would have been in the race for,
But
they formed the captain.
But why not Hyderabad? I think they still
that's
have the
what I was
biggest
going to
purse.
say. Yeah, I mean, it'll be a massive bidding thing. I expect Mumbai Indians to go hard with Ben Stokes because, again, I'm going to say this again. The last time when he went for 14 crores, Rajasthan Royals had backed him. He was the most expensive buy at that time. Mumbai Indians had gone hard for Ben Stokes and they lost out, in the end because Rajasthan went up as high as 14 crores. So, and Mumbai Indians have shown their hand. They're looking for an all-rounder. They're looking for an all-rounder, looking for a reliable, big money all-rounder. That's where Mumbai have shown their hand.
And I'm pretty sure that Sam Curran was only the first of half a dozen names that they have earmarked right now.
I mean, they always have backups.
Exactly.
They always have backups.
Exactly.
They always have two players, and that's where Sam Curran was a backup when, for a couple side. Who did Jason Holder go to?
Jason Holder, hold on, I'll just get you on one on that. Okay, so yeah, he went to CSK for 5.75, Jason Holder.
Amazing.
So Chennai buying him back. By the way, Sam Curran was part of the Punjab team. Back in 2019, he was part of that squad and he was let go.
Apologies for that. So yeah, Jason Holder, 5 crores with CSK.
And this one is Cameron Green, and this is another player who is going to go for a pretty big number. He's already at 6.5. So it'll be very interesting to see who is going to go after him. So we can see RCB, Mumbai Indians already at...
Are they in the race?
Yeah, both of them.
right.
Both of them,
Am
both
I
of
there?
them.
Raising their paddle very happily.
But I think Royal Challengers, another 2 more bids, they'll be out. They'll have to be out.
Yes, because they have what, 8 crores left?
8.7,
Yes.
that's it.
But again, you know what? I won't be really surprised if Cameron Green is again going to make franchises break the bank just like Sam Curran did. See, that's their plan B. They couldn't go after Sam. Right now, they're going after Green.
And he is a batting all-rounder. He bowls as well. And
Okay,
he
so
bats
this
higher up.
I think Delhi has entered the fray. Delhi need a batter. Delhi need a good, solid batter somewhere in the middle. And
they need an all-rounder as well because Mitchell Marsh doesn't bowl. Mitchell Marsh doesn't bowl.
No, Mitchell Marsh doesn't bowl. They've let go of Shardul Thakur.
Shardul Thakur
So
as well.
they need
So
an all-rounder.
they need an
But
all-rounder.
at the same time, I think Ricky Ponting is still coaching Delhi, right?
Yes, he is.
So I'm pretty sure that he would want one of his best Australian batsmen to be there. He did that. He did that with Marcus Stoinis. He literally remade his T20 career by keeping him in Delhi.
And I think one of our conversations, Srini, I told you Cameron Green would be the most expensive buy. So 18.5. Could we go higher than 18?
It's already at 12.75.
Yes. Yes.
And I think Delhi has backed out. No?
The bid is with Mumbai Indians at 13 crores.
Yeah, but I really doubt that Delhi is going to go beyond this. Oh, they are going ahead. Okay.
What's the purse?
Delhi's purse right now stands at 19.45. So I really doubt that they're going to go beyond this.
So interestingly, I mean, the teams that are bidding for Cameron Green right now, their budget is maxed out at 19 and 20. So we are looking at one of those teams just spending literally their entire budget on one player. That could happen. That could happen here. They're going hard for him. It's 14.75. Delhi are having a conversation whether...
I really doubt Delhi will go beyond this because they need a good, solid all-rounder.
They have 15.25, Delhi.
Wow. Did Delhi purchase anybody during the off-season? Because they need an all-rounder. They struggled without the presence of an all-rounder in the previous season. So they need somebody who can be there, give them 2 good overs and also score about 30-40 runs.
Let me just take a look at Delhi.
This is a Mumbai-Delhi battle.
And Mumbai is still at it, 16 crores.
16
wow.
crores, spending their entire budget on one player.
Well, I think they're going to go the whole hog. Yeah. How far did they go for Sam Curran?
15.
Yeah, exactly.
15.
So somewhere I think this is
Wow,
where
Delhi is still in it. Delhi, I think, is going to blow its entire purse on Cameron Green.
So Mumbai Indians is 20.55 CR and Delhi
has 19.45.
So we're looking at Cameron Green getting at least 19 today, the way this is going.
I think it's with Delhi now.
So if we look at
16.75 crore.
Yeah, so if you look at what Delhi have done.
Oh no, 17. Mumbai is back in it. So Cameron Green will now become the second most expensive IPL player.
I think he's going to be the most expensive. It's just at 17. It's a matter of
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
No, but nobody else is bidding for him. I'm really surprised that Sunrisers did not get it because they still need that.
It's also about how many overseas spots they have left because they've already got Aiden Markram, they've got Harry Brooks. I think that's 2 spots.
Yeah, so they have 2 more slots left.
Yes.
They have 2 more foreign slots left.
Right, and Mumbai Indians haven't really spent on anyone else right now, so they still have a good.
Mumbai has just about 2.5 crore after this. If this goes through to Mumbai,
yes,
okay,
Mumbai
they've got it. Wow.
Mumbai have got
There
it.
you go.
Wow,
I think that's
17.5.
the replacement. Probably, that's how you can put it. I mean, there's a replacement for Karen Pollard, but then.
No, but it's a long-term replacement as well because this is a young guy we're
Yes,
talking about.
yes,
We're talking about 12
but,
years.
But do you
minimum.
think he is going to be a like-for-like replacement for Karen Pollard?
That only time will tell.
No,
Because
see, look, I don't think he's going to be like-for-like because he is...
Ben Stokes is coming up.
No disrespect to Kiran Pollard, he's a better batsman.
Right.
He bats in the top 4. And I think he bowls more frequently than what Pollard has done for Mumbai Indians. There's no replacement for Pollard in a like-to-like sense. A tremendous fielder, tremendous athlete, given his size and everything, what he's done for Mumbai Indians. But, you're looking at the next 10, 12 years, maybe he brings a different element because we look at Mumbai Indians, there's a different energy about them,
Right.
Tristan Stubbs, and then you have Devol Brevis in their middle, and you have Tilak Verma, youngsters really coming up, Ishan Kishan.
But then, Chetan, won't the whole question of availability come in? Because, okay, this is one of those rare IPL seasons where you have both Australian and English players available throughout the season.
Yes.
But like what we saw, I think, last season and the season before last, we had Australian players walking out.
It happens. It happens. But then, obviously, if they're available next season, which is important because they have the Ashes coming up. So
Right.
the fact that they're available before an Ashes, that's important. Also, if a player is not available, then you also have that purse available to you. That you can buy an alternative or pick an alternative, either in the mini auction or a mega auction, whatever happens that particular year, or you can just pick from whoever had entered the auction list.
Right.
So right now they have banked a major future IPL star, major future T20 star for Australian team.
Right.
It was really surprising that he didn't get a go in the T20 World Cup. So, I mean, Aaron Finch played. I mean, he was a direct, opening partner for for David Warner there.
Right.
So, this is a mega buy for the next 10 years, if not more, for Mumbai Indians.
Very true, very true. I really think that they've got the job done there. If not Curran, then Green. This is as good as it gets, and I really think they're on the ball. What's happening right now is Rajasthan Royals is bidding for Ben Stokes. This is such a brilliant story if he comes back home, because the last time when Rajasthan Royals had bought Ben Stokes, he was going through one of the most difficult phases of his life.
Exactly.
His father was unwell. He had to take a break from the IPL, go back home. And this will be a proper homecoming for Stokes.
But
and
LSG
quite a
seems
reunion.
that they are not ready to give up on him yet.
And Sunrisers
now
have
Sunrisers have
Oh,
also
there you
entered.
go, yeah.
Sunrisers
Yeah.
have also entered.
Well, Sunrisers probably what, a captain in store? I mean, I
Yeah,
thought,
definitely. They're looking for a.
I
They're
thought
looking
this is
for
where
a.
it was going to
They're
head.
looking for a batsman. They're looking for a captain.
Okay.
Sunrisers.
Sunrisers, yeah.
I think that's sealed with Mayank Agarwal. I don't think they'll make the mistake.
How much
of
money do
buying Ben
LSG
Stokes.
have? I really want to know.
LSG
LSG
has.
has
Hold on, I'll
23,
tell you how much they
23.
have.
Okay, and
LSG has about 23.35,
23, yeah.
and so far they have not bought any players. So that
Right.
full kitty is with them.
And that's what we had thought.
well,
I
actually,
mean,
they have more money than Sunrisers.
to spend on Ben Stokes,
Yes.
Yeah.
To spend on one player, yes. They could just spend 23 crores on him.
Yes.
Because their team is settled. They reached the
Yes.
top 4. So they just need to complete the jigsaw
Yes.
puzzle really.
And,
And they released Jason Holder to make way
Make
for
space for him,
Ben
yeah.
Stokes.
Exactly, and I think
Ben Stokes
we were,
already at 14 crores, guys.
Yes.
Already at 14 crores, and it's still going up. I think as far as the smaller auctions goes, I think this will break all records because we already have the highest paid, the second highest paid, and this guy could end up breaking both those records. Okay, Hyderabad is pulled back.
Yes, because again,
Hyderabad is out.
yes, because they spent a lot of money on Harry Brooks and they got a first 11 player and they have an entire team to build. Get 3-4 more
Yes.
starting players and get bench strength together. So they can't afford to spend that much money again on one player. You can't afford 2 players at 13 crores
True,
when you're building an entire squad.
whereas
Okay,
Lucknow
LSG and
Super
Chennai
Giants
Super
in
Kings.
getting
Wow.
Jason Holder go.
Chennai-
Chennai
Chennai
Super
entered.
Kings.
Chennai
Chennai
Super
Super
Kings
Kings has entered. So Chennai, with that purse of 20.4 crores, have already bid 16.5.
And they went hard for Sam Curran. So again, like I mentioned earlier, they probably came in with a list that we need an all-rounder, and they got Jason
And
Holder.
probably a future captain.
And probably a future captain. So you're looking at, they went hard for Sam Curran, and then they thought, okay, you know what, Ben Stokes is the other player that we can look at. So
Srini, do you really think that Chennai would look at Ben Stokes as a captain for their team?
Well, with the present scenario, until they identify a new one, unless they're going back to Ravindra Jadeja, and if we're looking at MS Dhoni at the sunset of his career,
Exactly.
then probably why not? He's a great option to look at.
Oh, Chennai
Until
got
they
him.
can build
Chennai
one.
got him.
All right, that's a
Chennai
great
got
buy,
him
I
for
think.
16.25.
And there comes the replacement for Dwayne Bravo.
and Jason Holder goes back to the bench.
Yep. So that's the third biggest buy of the evening. 16.25 if I'm not mistaken for Ben Stokes. So we have Ben Stokes, Cameron Green and Sam Curran going for the biggest price,
And Harry Brooks,
price
yes,
tag so
13
far.
crores. 13
13 crores,
plus
yeah.
crores
Not,
for Harry Brooks is not small.
no,
small
whenever
money.
now whenever you're looking at the prices, anything above 15 is what matters. Like below 15, like keep it out of your list. Okay, so I think they've taken a break for now. So yeah, a pretty interesting run of auction bids, if I could put it that way. Harry Brooks, I think Hyderabad is I think Hyderabad has made the intention clear. They either need a batting all-rounder or a full-on batsman. Chennai, well, they're still in that rebuilding phase, so anything goes for them. What will be, okay, we are having the full list here now. So Ben Stokes has gone to Chennai for 16.5, Sam Curran to Punjab for 18.5, Cameron Green to Mumbai for 17.5, Harry Brooks has gone to Hyderabad for 13.25 and Mayank Agrawal has gone in for 8.25 crores. I mean, when you look at this list right now, guys, don't you think that Mayank Agrawal is a steal for 8.25?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because like I mentioned earlier as well, because a lot of the teams are settled at the top. You know, he's an Indian batsman who bats at the top 3. He's 31 years old, and of course, he's a leadership material. So, not many teams in this auction were looking at such a player profile. Attacking batsman, Indian batsman who takes up a confirmed starting spot and obviously a captaincy material. Most of the teams are settled in that particular sense.
Okay.
So Sunrisers Hyderabad had an easy buy. They just entered at 7 CR, picked them up at 8.25 CR. So mega buy. Like I said earlier, this is, I think, sealed that he's probably going to lead Sunrisers unless and until they have some other ideas, which would be, I mean, which would be really staggering for me, to be honest.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, as far as the remaining big ticket players are concerned, we have Shakib went unsold. I'm pretty sure somebody is going to pick him up at the end of the day for the base price. Then we have Nicholas Pooran. He's still left. And who else? Otherwise, I think all the big ones are done.
These 5 names were supposed to be the really big ones.
Exactly.
And I think the fireworks, you know, in a way you can say the fireworks are kind of over,
done.
you
Yeah.
know? Yeah,
It's over.
Unless we find some sort of a fight for a wicket keeper, because whenever there's a
Yeah.
need. Other than that, I think the big spending is done. So whatever money any franchise is now left with, this is now going to be about smart buys. So
Okay.
I think the big spending buys are more or less settled.
What about Manish Pandey?
I think, you know, he could go for a cheaper price. His base price is, I think, just 1 crore, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
A team like RCB, I don't think RCB will go for him. I think KKR, because they need some
They
sort
need
of batting
batsmen,
strength.
yes.
He's done well in the KKR setup in the
Yes.
past. So Manish Pandey, KKR, probably, you know, going the homecoming.
Look
that,
at
you know,
Sunrisers, for instance. I mean, with the kind of money that they have left, how much? I mean, they still have 21 crores or
Yeah, they
something?
do.
Yeah, they still have the
They
biggest
don't have
purse
a
left.
wicket keeper, do they? They still don't have a, after Nicholas Pooran, they let go.
Yeah,
I
they
don't think
don't.
they have a wicket keeper.
Okay.
So they might, I mean, you know, you can see either a Litton Das or a Klassen actually going big, you know, and they have the money too. So,
I mean,
yeah,
Sunrisers have let
Glenn
go of so
Phillips.
many players. I
Yeah.
can't even remember
Yeah,
who was the
exactly,
wicket keeper for
exactly.
them last year.
Right. I mean, every time I talk about KKR, I have to keep referring to the list because I just can't remember what are the slots that they are left with in order to fill, right? I mean, they've not spent a dime yet today.
Talking about wicket keepers, if you look at, you know, the teams, which teams don't have a prime backup or they don't have a settled keeping option. You look at Gujarat Titans, you have Ridhiman Saha and Matthew Wade. So they're pretty much settled. I mean,
Right.
unless and until they see that, okay, Matthew Wade doesn't play too many games because they've got Kane Williamson now. Ridhiman Saha, probably more keeping, less batting for him. Delhi, I think, need a bit of a backup for Rishabh Pant, and because there's been a lot of chatter about workload management.
Okay.
He had a recent back injury as well. So, you know, they might just want somebody there to have a backup for him. Sanju Samson obviously keeps and everything. I don't think they need a backup wicket-keeping option. Obviously, Josh Butler is already there, so they won't go for a wicket-keeping option.
Yeah, I think more or less the way I'm looking at it right now, you're looking at Chennai, Kolkata, and RCB. Probably, you know, still have work to do. The others more or less look settled. Mumbai Indians until now probably would have looked a little here or there, but with this buy, Cameron Green, I think they're looking at such a well-rounded side right now.
Yeah, I mean, and look, last year Mumbai Indians, they didn't really do well. And,
Right.
you know, you would think that, oh, you know, you would go around and change things over, buy some, you know, 2-3 players, get more experience in, because it's a very young side. Yes, you have Rohit Sharma, you have Bumrah, but apart from that, if you look at the lineup, it's a pretty young side. So they haven't done that. They trust what they picked last year, and they've just added to it.
I still feel that Mumbai will try to rebuild their team like what they had done before by bringing in fresh players, unknown players. I mean,
Yes.
whoever had heard of Jasprit Bumrah till he bowled for Mumbai Indians.
Absolutely.
So I think they will build on something like that and set up the team. But, you know, I was just going through the roster for Hyderabad, and I still don't think that they have their team finalized yet. They had let go of the highest number of players. They had the biggest kitty. I still don't see how exactly are they going to deal with their opening situation. They have decent bowlers. They have Umran Malik. They have Washington Sundar. But how do you think that their opening lineup, their number 3 batsman, their middle order is going to fare? Because again, if I'm looking at the batsmen, pure batsmen, you have Aiden Markram, you have, I think, Marco Jansen, you have...
Marco Jansen is a
As a
lower order.
fast
Yeah,
bowler.
so he
No,
will-
but
he
you
will
know,
form
they've
the
just
middle
got
order.
Harry Brook. They have Mayank Agarwal right now to open.
So Mayank Agarwal and Rahul
Washington
Tripathi.
Sundar is a top order batsman.
Yeah, so Mayank Agarwal and Rahul Tripathi will open, and then you have Harry Brooks at number 3. Then you have Abhishek Sharma, who they've invested in, young talent. Aiden Markram. So that's your how many? 5 batsmen there.
Yeah, Washington.
And then obviously Washington Sundar and Glenn Phillips. Glenn Phillips, we saw he had a tremendous T20 World Cup. So that's what.
And I see them going for another good wicketkeeper batsman right
and
now.
that's 7. And obviously Abdul Samad, they've given him chances as well. Let's keep him on the bench. So that's 7 players there. Then you have T. Natarajan, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Umran Malik. That's 3. I think they'll go for a spinner now because
Exactly.
what I am missing here is a really nice spinner there. I mean, we spoke about
And
a
of
couple
course a
options.
wicketkeeper like
And of course,
Srinivas
yes,
mentioned.
wicketkeeper batsman probably there. So maybe what they need is 3, possibly 4 players who could really come in and stitch their side together, and they could go in. They could go back in for a lot of players who've not been unsold, or they could pick up a lot of, because the big fireworks are over, like we said. So they could pick up really a lot of players on the cheap, or a lot of players for the base price, and even if they don't, they have a lot of money left.
And wait for the young Indian batsmen to come into the list. I mean, because
Yeah.
we don't know what they're going to look
I
at.
mean,
you have the Sheikh Rasheeds and the Amolpreet Singhs and
And we're talking about spinners. You have Adil Rashid, you have Adam Zampa, and you have Murugan Ashwin. Shakib Al Hasan, he went unsold. They could go back
They
and
will,
pick
they
him
will
up.
buy. Somebody will pick him up. I think the
Rajiv
reason why
Rahman.
they let go of Shakib is because Bangladesh won't be available for the entire
Yes,
tour.
yes,
for the entire
probably.
season,
And,
sorry.
and in the past also, Shakib has gone unsold on 1 or 2
Yeah.
occasions. So not surprised there. Joe Root, again, he went unsold. So not surprised there because 2 CR, his base price.
It's
for that
too high,
particular
yeah.
for that particular mold, when you have, again, Ajinkya Rahane at 50 lakhs, why would you go for a Joe Root? Because, again, he takes up an overseas spot.
Sri, the way I'm looking at how this is, coming up, it seems that advantage is going to continue to be with Gujarat and LSG when it's all said and done, because both those teams looked settled last year. They continue to look settled this year as well. I mean, okay, some good players have been brought in by their rivals, but none of them seem settled enough to, maybe mount a challenge for the IPL.
I think it's also about, in terms of when the time had come to retain and let go of players, when the transfer window was on. I think the answers were right there. These were such well-settled squads that they did not want to tinker too much. They have built, and Gujarat, of course, will not want to disturb a winning combination.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
It's just a question of minor changes here, there, and where they let Lockie Ferguson go. I'm still thinking they have not revealed their cards. They have something kind of in their list of demands, in their wish list. We'll get to know soon what it is. And as far as LSG is concerned, Jason Holder, that's why we saw them going after Ben Stokes the way they did. So I still think that they need to figure that all-rounder slot, and I want to know where they go from here.
If you look at the pacers that they could target, you have somebody like a Taimal Mills, Andrew Ty, Jaydev Unadkat. Again, yes, he's on a bit of a high at the moment.
Yeah.
He's in the past he's fetched a high price in the IPL auctions as well, and he's an Indian buy. He's an Indian buy. You pair him up with Mohammad Shami, and then you have one young fast bowler who can come in as a troika of fast bowlers. So
Right.
you pick an Indian name and you're sorted for 4 overs there. So Jaydev Unadkat could be a big buy for Gujarat. And if we can also take a look at
Yeah, actually, yeah, they do lack that top Indian bowler in their lineup. I mean, except for Hardik Pandya, they have nobody else whose name pops up.
and Hardik Pandya might not bowl too often.
Exactly.
He might not bowl too often. He hasn't bowled too much in the IPL in the past. He's bowling now for India, obviously, in the T20 format. But again, it remains to be seen if he wants to bowl in the IPL or not.
Okay. Now, again, if I'm looking at the Lucknow Super Giants roster, they again look fairly settled. They have a good wicketkeeper in De Kock. I think they have probably the best overseas lineup with Marcus Stoinis, De Kock, Kyle Mayers. Mark Wood won't be playing this IPL. I think he has pulled out to keep himself fit for the Ashes. So that's another area that they would look at, somebody who can bowl fast. Do you think that's going to be something that they're going to focus on, Srini?
Well, right now, we're talking about Lucknow Super Giants.
Lucknow
right?
Super Giants.
Right now, it's obviously it's a very well-rounded squad. Okay, as I said, not much to tinker, but they've let Jason Holder go. Okay, and I'm sure that they let him go with some sort of a big picture in mind. So I want to now see how they're going to what is their strategy going to be?
Okay.
Unless it is about they obviously they went after Ben Stokes, they couldn't get him. The all-rounder category is done. They don't need a wicket keeper. They have one of the finest in business.
Right.
So I want to know why they're going to use that money, unless they didn't have a plan B, which I don't think so is the case.
This is how the auction dynamics sometimes play out, because they went high for Sam Curran.
Right.
They went hard for Ben Stokes. They ended up getting neither of them, and they've also let go of Jason Holder. So, sorry to say, but LSG's strategy, and of course the big ticket players, the big ticket all-rounders, they didn't get Cameron Green either. So the big ticket, and Jason Holder's gone to Chennai. So
exactly.
they can't even get him back because he came up earlier, and then they didn't really bid for him. So suddenly their strategy is all over the place, and now they have to bank on another all-rounder who's probably not a big enough name. So again here, and this is the interesting bit for me. Here, the impact rule, the impact player rule could be of a lot of interest, because they could say, okay, listen, let's invest in a standout batsman or a standout bowler, and we use that player instead of using an all-rounder, and we use that as an impact sub. So that could be the change of thought for somebody like LSG, given how the auction dynamics have played out here.
Okay, now another interesting thing that I've spotted is the way Chennai is building up. Now they have picked up they have picked up Holder, they have picked up Ben Stokes, and they have picked up Ajinkya Rahane as well. But they've picked up two foreign players, Srini. So they have practically, I think they've filled their foreign slots, and they have a pretty big roster when it comes to their foreign players. And if you remove, say, the likes of Moeen Ali from the list, who are you going to replace him with? Devon Conway out of the list, who are you going to replace him with? So I think they're going to face that conundrum when the time comes, because they have some really good international players, a long list, but if you are not going to be able to play your player number 5 and player number 6 in the list, how are you going to replace them? Who are you going to replace them with? There is no like-for-like Indian replacement for Moeen Ali or for a hard hitter like Devon Conway.
Well, then Edwin, in this, the story is deeper. My whole grouse actually, and because I have such a fascination for what the franchise has done, hugely successful franchise.
Absolutely.
A few things come close to what CSK has achieved in this ecosystem. Now, the one thing my mind seems to wonder is, how is it that such a strong Chennai-based franchise has not identified Tamil Nadu cricketers? That is where the answers lie.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Tamil Nadu has a really good domestic T20 league, TNPL.
Exactly.
And surprisingly,
where does Washington Sundar come from?
Exactly.
India Stevens is they
are
the ones who gave birth to the TNPL, really. So it's really surprising that they are not really going.
No, actually,
into that
what? I'm not so sure that this is not even. This might not even something that probably is so conscious. I mean, sometimes in the auction you just go with the flow, what is available. It's not like you are the only one going shopping, right? I mean, there are 9 other franchises looking at their own strategies. So fair enough. Sometimes your plans don't fall in place, like how we saw in the mega auction. Actually, look at the number of players CSK went after and probably couldn't buy.
And also one more thing, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to rectify the imbalance of last year. They had to let go of Shardul Thakur because of purse issues. This year, they're not only replacing Bravo, but they're also replacing Shardul Thakur. So no surprise that they've got 2 all-rounders. And it would also not be a surprising thing that both of them are playing in the same 11.
Agreed. But how do you think they're going to be able to find that balance when it comes to fixing the international player roster?
Which is why Ajinkya Rahane's purchase is an awesome purchase, because what it does is, and I mentioned this earlier as well, immediately, and sorry to say this, it benches Devon Conway.
Yeah, true.
It benches Devon Conway. So you bench Devon Conway, you bring in Ajinkya Rahane. that opens up one slot overseas, and Bravo is no longer there in your playing 11. So that's 2 open playing 11 spots. They've bought 2 all-rounders today who bowl 8 overs, and they bat in the middle order, top 5, top 6. And I think that's where they find the balance. You play Moeen Ali, and that still leaves one spot for a fourth international player, somebody like a Mitchell Santner or something. So, and in the past, CSK have always, sometimes also played with 3 overseas players. So,
Which is the rising trend. I mean,
which is obviously the rising trend as well. Yes.
But do you think they have enough Indian talent to do that this season? I really don't see that in the roster because, okay, you do have the likes of Ravindra Jadeja, Rituraj Gaikwad, Shivam Dube, who is now obviously going to be the mainstay. And then you also have to fit in one MS Dhoni into the squad. So, again, I don't think they have managed to find the balance even after this. I don't know even after whether at the end of this auction they'll still be able to find that balance.
I'll tell you what, none of this in Chennai Super Kings is a worry to me. They will figure out. They will figure out. Trust me.
They always do.
They will figure out. They always do, as he said. And at some point in time, they will get that combination right. To me, there is only one question when it comes to Chennai Super Kings. When the man goes, what exactly is their plan B? Plan B, plan C, plan D, from B to Z, everything I'd like to know. Because plan A is what has made Chennai Super Kings.
True. I think their plan B is already in motion. They want him to take over that mentor/coach role.
Yes, man on the field, man off the field, world of a difference.
Agreed.
He
But
was on
as far as
field
the
last
fans,
year, and Jadeja couldn't, dip into his experience as captain.
Agreed.
You know,
But
I'm not sorry, I'll continue with it. I'll just wrap this up. The point is, okay, captaincy is a major issue. We saw what happened with, captaincy had to go back to him. There's a lot of sentiment involved, and but the point is his presence on the field. Is that how will you replace it? And in that lies, and CSK, look at the franchise, look at the structure. It has so deep-rootedly revolved around this guy. The love, the passion, the madness that is there for this man is irreplaceable. I don't think,
Which is why I think these 2 buys, Rahane and Ben Stokes, are a bit of interest because Rahane has led in the past as a captain. And I would not say he's from
but
the same
Rahane
mold.
has not been a performer, God knows for how many IPLs
Of course. I'm not saying that make him captain. I'm also coming to Ben Stokes because also we have to remember that Ben Stokes is now retired from the ODI format. Why that is crucial is because England don't play a lot of tests in those 3 months, April, May, June. Majorly their test summer begins June onwards, the major part, major chunk of their test. And white ball cricket majorly happens April, May, June. So that frees up Ben Stokes. And you never know, he's suffered a lot of injuries. He's coming to his, probably towards the end of his international career. So they could have a chat with Ben Stokes and say, okay, listen, if and when MS Dhoni goes, we are looking for a captain for 3-4 years until you have this guy taking up, and that's Rituraj Gaikwad, and I'm pretty sure they are looking at him as a future captain.
I agree. I agree completely with what Chetan says that at some point in time, Rituraj Gaikwad is seen as a future captain, and that I think CSK has identified. It's just that they don't want to rush into it.
Okay.
And we'll have to obviously kind of wait and see how things go. But as of now, their worry is the interim.
Right.
Because as I said, the man, like he goes and there's a gaping hole out there. How do you feel that?
True, absolutely. Okay, so now when we're talking about captaincy and replacing the old with new, the next team that comes to mind is the other most successful team in the IPL, that is Mumbai Indians.
Yes.
Well, again, Rohit Sharma, we know for a fact that he's in his last legs. Even if he retires, maybe he would end up playing at best another season of IPL. I don't think he will go beyond that. What do you think their strategy is going to be? I felt they made a mistake by letting Hardik Pandya go.
Yes, that was a mistake. But again, when it comes to retention and staying,
Srini does not agree at all.
It's not agree at all. It's not always the players, the franchisee's decision. It's also sometimes the player's decision. So I think Hardik Pandya's decision was vital in him going to Gujarat Titans. He was looking for that broader role. Again, I also don't agree. This is like Rohit Sharma is going to retire anytime soon. I think even if he says goodbye to international cricket,
I'm not listening to this.
I think he's going to play IPL for quite a bit. And if you talk about who the future captain, there could be, I think Ishan Kishan.
Ishan Kishan, really?
Definitely. Why not?
Okay. Srini, you had issues with what Chetan was saying?
Well, okay. First thing first. Not issues. I mean, his thing is spot on. Point is Hardik Pandya going away. Okay. Nobody's mistake here. The mistake is, let me quickly wrap this up. The mistake is nobody's but the way people are designing the concept of mega auctions in IPL. You have a team. Where did Hardik Pandya come from? Obviously, the talent scout of Mumbai Indians went and figured that boy in Baroda, you know, kind of a budding young fellow who had potential. They brought him up, you know, kind of put him in the mix of things, and they worked on that product, and you know, it took time for them to accomplish a finished product, right? And suddenly, BCCI comes, says, okay, it doesn't matter what you've done over the last 6 years, because we are adding 2 new teams, so now dismantle everything that you have done. Okay?
And you can only retain 4
And
players.
we will only give you the option of retaining 3 Indians and 1 foreigner, or 2 Indians and 2 foreigners, and that's at best what we can do. Now, we don't care what you have done. See, this is, again, there is a larger context here, which I'll come to later. But the point I'm trying to make here is that a franchise which has worked on creating its own ecosystem suddenly has to let go of a player. And who would they have let go? Kieron Pollard, no chance. They wanted to keep him another year. Surya Kumar Yadav, now we can see why they kept him back. Rohit Sharma is their captain, man who has won them 5 titles. There is, and then just
Mumbai's
no
MS
argument,
Dhoni.
right? So where was the spot? I mean, obviously, you know, had the mega auction happened this year, probably Kieron Pollard would have not been the guy. See, they couldn't have retained 4 Indians. The rule said that it could have been 3 Indians and 1 foreigner, or 2 Indians. So they went for the best option that was available. Chetan?
And again, yes, I agree. And also, even if they wanted to retain him, you look at the valuation as well. You know, there's the valuation aspect of it as well. When you retain a player, you pay 16 crores, then 12 crores, 8 crores, or something like that. If you pick,
I think Litton Das was up before this, and he has gone unsold. Again, it must be the availability issue. Because Sri Lanka and Bangladesh are going to be the 2 teams which are going to have their own games during that time. So it's very much understandable. Nicholas Puran is up, and it seems Chennai and Rajasthan are bidding for him. He has already shot up to 2.8. His base price was anyways at 2 crores. So yeah, as Srini had predicted, the war for wicket keepers has begun.
And while this is going on, I'll just finish what I was saying. It's also the valuation war. If you're paying 16 to Rohit and 12 to Bumrah, you can't go below 10 to Hardik Pandya because there's a valuation game there. Why would he accept 8 crores or something to play for Mumbai Indians when he's getting 16 at Gujarat Titans? So this, like Srini said, very much this was designed against those existing teams, and that is why, let me just say, the concept of auction in IPL, I think it's starting to get very, very dated. It's starting to get very, very dated. We're coming quickly to a point where it has to be replaced by the draft system and not the auction. And you can't tear up teams again and again and again because you're building an association with your fan base as well. So I think in the next, maybe within 3 to 5 years, we could see the end of the auction concept in the IPL?
Yes, I've been saying that it's already, auction is already past the sell-by date. And I've been saying this for a long time, that for right now, you know, why did you need auctions? You needed auctions to bring in sort of an equilibrium in place, right? There had to be equal contest between all 8 franchises, originally the 8 franchises. You didn't want overspending happening anywhere, right? So that is why a salary cap was kept and the players were put in brackets and said, this is the kind of money that you can go. All right. Now, after 15 years of IPL, franchises are earning money from the ecosystem. They're earning good money from the ecosystem, right? So today they have the infrastructure and the space available to build their own teams. I'm saying start from scratch, identify a player at 14, 15, 16, 17 years of age, and then work on that product to kind of, you know, enable at some point and have a junior ecosystem in place. Look at what the EPL has done in
Exactly.
England.
I was going to come to that.
Exactly. And there is no rocket science here. I think that is precisely why I'm saying the auction is past the sell-by date. It's great drama on the day when it happens.
Absolutely.
You know, it's great TRP. But then overall, there's no big picture to look at.
Do you think that for a EPL type of model to come into the into the IPL, do you think that you need more teams? I mean, if you're already at 10.
You mean the transfers?
No, the total, not just transfers, like even if you want to add more players, buy more players, do you think that just like what the EPL has, you need like, you know, about 15 or maybe 16 teams to be there for something like that to start working? Is that what the IPL is working towards?
No, I mean, see, I don't think there is a plan in place. You asked me, is that something the IPL is working towards? Right now, I don't see IPL working towards anything.
No, but also I don't think that transfers could really work because again, what's the point of transfers? Because when you talk about EPL teams, transfers happen within the team, they change the
I
big
have
players.
something to add here.
Yeah.
The transfer window, when you look at the transfer window, see the transfer window has to be made into a commercial exercise.
Right.
You know, people have to look at that window every year annually in terms of trade, where it is not just ki, okay, I need this, I need that, you are letting go of this, okay, whatever, like 1 or 2 players. It has to be there has to be a business sense to it.
Yeah.
It has to make news for the money that exchanges hands. Yeah,
Okay, while we have been talking about that, Nicholas Pooran has at 9 crores. So now,
Which
and this was, I
actually-
think, Delhi. No, okay, now Delhi has gone for 9.25.
And LSG have
And
come
LSG.
in. Yes, LSG have come in. So again, I'm just trying to make sense of what's happening here. We have DC and LSG. Before that, we had Rajasthan Royals before LSG entered. So Rajasthan Royals were looking for that impact batsman. They already have 2 wicket keepers, Sanju Samson and Josh Butler. So they don't need Nicholas Pooran to keep wickets.
Yeah.
But they missed out on Harry Brooks. So they were trying to go for an alternative, an attacking middle order batsman. But they are out now.
I
DC,
think Delhi is now getting very desperate. I think
Yes.
they want that wicketkeeper batsman.
as obviously a backup to Rishabh Pant and also a middle order batsman who could make an impact because they have
Just
lost
like
out on
what
the
Marcus
all-rounder.
Stoinis used to do.
So now these two teams are looking at Nicholas Pooran as an impact player because they've missed out on the big hitting all-rounders.
Nicholas Pooran, I think, is about to hit 13 crores, guys.
Well,
Sorry, at 12.5
I
now.
somehow think that Delhi is your Delhi. I just get this feeling. I'm obviously not part of the whole setup. I just get the feeling that Delhi is confused right now. I don't know whether
There are as many zeros in there as he scores in one season.
well, for the kind of money that they have, how much? 19 and a half crores is what they have.
Is it 13 crores?
And this has already reached
So
13
he's
crore.
about- I think, okay, he has equaled Harry Brooks.
Yes, yes.
So the top 5 sellers as of now are all foreign players, all in like high double digits. 14 crores. Wow, look at that.
And these are the teams that are left with the purse because they missed out on those mega all-rounders. And this is where you bring in Nicholas Pooran, he comes into the lineup and you can use another batsman as an impact player. This is the impact player strategy playing out here. These two teams missed out on Sam Curran, they missed out on Ben Stokes,
But the stats
they
you
missed
just
out on
pointed
Cameron Green.
The stats that you just pointed to, I mean, you were being colloquial, but the stats that you pointed to about Nicholas Pooran not being consistent,
Yes.
then where does the impact value come in?
No, he could not. I'm not saying. I mean, yes, anybody can score zeros. I mean, that's a run of bad form. He can also hit big sixes, man. So,
Right.
he can make that impact. He's that sort of a batsman, but not necessarily. He will be used as the impact player.
Okay.
They could use an alternate player, put him in the playing
Okay,
11.
so Delhi is out of the bidding now. It's with LSG at 16 crores.
Oh
wow.
my God, that's crazy money
massive.
for Nicholas
That's,
Pooran.
yeah.
That's crazy
That's
money.
too much for Nicholas
Okay,
Pooran.
this is not making any sense to me.
Yeah.
And why is LSG
And they've
here?
got him at 16. Oh my God.
Why is LSG here? Because
16 crores.
Because
He's
they
been
missed
sold.
out.
He's
They
been
had
sold
money to
LSG.
spend. It's like
Yeah.
I went to the market. What I wanted to buy that was sold out, so I
yeah,
had
but
money
how
to
is
spend and I
Pooran
bought
even
something
the
else.
answer? How is, with all due respect, I mean,
He's
where
the
is-
answer in a way where he gets into the playing 11, Srini. He gets into the playing 11 after 12 overs. They replace him with an impact player. That's how he gets into the playing 11.
All right, for this
Wow.
price,
If
Chetan,
you, the price is crazy, but this is the strategy. This is the impact player strategy playing out here.
well, if you're talking about an impact player, the question that it gives you to have 2 players around me, you're saying that you're blocking like whatever this money is.
So
you're
you play
blocking this
Nicholas
kind of
Pooran,
money.
he
Yeah.
gets out for
Oh,
a duck
Klassen
and
is,
you
yeah.
replace him out, he gets out for a duck and you replace him after 12 overs with an impact player.
It'll take me some time to digest
Exactly,
that.
But it's
Yeah.
not worth 16 crores.
Yeah.
It's
16
definitely
crore,
not worth 16
no way.
crores.
But yeah, Klassen. Klassen is a class buy, can be a class
And
buy.
this is a wicketkeeper,
Yes.
reliable wicketkeeper
yes,
option.
that's
and
that's
I think
something I
that's-
want to think.
yeah.
But this guy should get good money. This guy
And
is
DC have
worth-
got him.
Yes.
DC have got him for just
I
1.2.
really, I mean, that,
1.2 crores. That's a steal.
This doesn't make
See,
sense.
that's
Oh my
That's
God.
an absolute steal.
16 crores for.
Wait,
oh,
hold on, hold on, hold on,
Sunrisers
hold on. There's
Hyderabad.
some drama happening there. I think
Yeah.
Hyderabad put
Yeah.
their hand up. Okay, they're back.
It's
you
still
go.
going on. It's
They're
still
back,
going
they're
on.
back.
Yeah.
No, because this makes sense for Hyderabad. They don't have a proper wicketkeeper.
And they have overseas slots to fill as
Exactly.
well. They have 2 more overseas slots to
and,
fill.
and by the way, they did not go after Nicholas Pooran.
No, because so many ducks. Why will they, as many zeros in that 16 crore as he scored for Sunrisers Hyderabad?
Oh man.
All right.
This
okay.
is
Now this is a bidding war. Now this is a
going
bidding
to be a
war.
proper
Okay.
bidding war.
Now-
Okay.
now
Yeah,
it will
yeah,
make sense.
Klassen
not
is already,
putting their
Klassen is so
baton
worth
down.
it.
Delhi is
So
not
worth
going to
it.
put their baton down.
And you know, with Klaassen, you do not want Klaassen to be a substitute. You want him to be your main guy.
True.
Give him a run of matches. Give him 14 matches and he will give you a fantastic season. If you're giving him 3 matches, then benching him, then 3 matches, that's not how
But
you
if
build
he
a
goes
momentum.
to Delhi, that's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, where else will Delhi play Rishabh
That's why,
Pant?
he'll go to Sunrisers Hyderabad. I mean, come on. They restarted the bidding, and they
Yeah.
want a wicket-keeper batsman of his
Okay,
caliber.
there's-
And remember, when Sunrisers Hyderabad gets into the bidding after 5 crores, you mean they mean
Yeah.
business.
Yes,
Absolutely.
And who are they replacing? They're replacing Nicholas Pooran,
Nicholas Pooran.
who went for 16 crores. So yes, maybe he won't go for 16 crores, but you get the idea that they will not back out of this. It will be Delhi Capitals who will have to back
No,
out.
Delhi is out. Delhi is out at
Delhi's out.
5.25.
5.25.
So this is with.
Come on.
Wow, that's a terrific buy. I mean, the way the auction has gone so far, I would say Klaassen going to Hyderabad for
Is a terrific buy,
5.25.
yeah.
That's a steal.
That's a steal.
Yeah, 5.25.
Gone.
He's gone.
Yes. Still doesn't make sense compared to 16
Absolutely,
crores, but yeah.
I mean, we
still
just
better
saw
than
the bidding
1.2.
before this. I mean, okay, Srini, they keep talking about something called the auction dynamics. Chetan was mentioning it earlier. Can you please explain this? I mean, Nicholas Pooran going for the amount that he went at, and then you have Hendrik Klaassen, somebody who is much more proven than him, going for not even 1/3 that rate.
Is there a dustbin here? Because, because sometimes it's best to keep logic there before you walk in, right? I mean,
Look, yeah, go ahead. Please
that
go ahead.
doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any
I
sense
mean,
to
this
me.
is all
Why would
about
you block
numbers.
see,
Okay,
16 crore?
Kusal Mendes has gone unsold again. Sri Lankan player not going to be there throughout the season. Understandable.
Look, when we're talking about
Is Phil Salt going to come next?
Tom Banton.
He's in this list.
Tom Banton.
This is Tom Banton, but Phil Salt is very much in this
Yeah.
list.
okay, you know, we were talking about. Can I say something?
Yeah,
You see, the auction dynamics. Again, this is the classic example. They went for again Sam Curran. They wanted him. Cameron Green. They wanted him. Ben Stokes. They wanted him. But there are 10 other teams. Sorry, 8 other teams. You know, those I'm talking about those 2 teams who took the bidding as high as 16 crores. They didn't get them. They didn't get. I mean, look at LSG. They let go of Holder. They could not get any of those all-rounders. So they need somebody to fill that void.
True.
And again, this is the perfect example of auction dynamics. And suddenly, it's not just LSG who's desperate. It's another team who's also desperate because they also did not get any of those all-rounders. So 2 desperate teams going for the same player who's probably not worth that value. I mean, no disrespect to Nicholas Pooran, but come on, so many zeros. But again, 16 crores. That's just, and I'm not even sure if he fits into the first
Okay, I'm
11.
guessing Delhi is going to enter this bidding very soon. It's Phil Salt,
Phil Salt.
of England.
Okay, now here's a guy I would love to see what's in store.
I think since he is going to be, he's sold to Delhi. Don't tell me. Yeah, sold
Yeah,
to Delhi.
oh, wow,
for just
2
2
crores.
crores.
Oh,
That's a
wow.
steal. That's a terrific.
That's a great buy.
Yeah, that's a
I
terrific
think-
buy.
Okay, that's a great
I mean,
buy.
I don't know much about Phil Salt, but is he a outfield player?
No, this is the,
Or
this is the
is he- no,
wicketkeeper
no,
batch.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is the
but,
wicketkeeper
no,
batch.
but can he
Wicketkeeper
double
batsman,
can he
yeah.
double in as a outfield
yeah,
player?
Yeah, Phil Salt, he was part of the English setup.
Yeah.
And he was part of the World Cup. He's graduated through those, the 100 basically.
Right.
Again, an attacking batsman, considered to be of high pedigree. But you have to consider how many teams are actually looking for a wicket-keeping batsman, you know, who,
Correct me if I'm wrong. He is a top order batsman, right?
yes, top 4, top 5, but
Yeah.
this depends really.
And we have more than a few teams who are actually looking for batsmen.
No, I mean, he's a wicket-keeping batsman. His primary job, obviously, is a wicket-keeping batsman. I mean, we have to start thinking in terms of, you know, right now, teams are trying to fill up their squads. That's where Phil Salt comes in.
Okay.
So, how many teams are actually going for him? So, Delhi going for him makes sense because not
They need
only-
a backup, yeah.
They need a backup for Rishabh Pant, and they also sometimes, if you don't, you know, Mitchell Marsh doesn't play, or Shimron Hetmeyer is at Rajasthan.
No, he's not there.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
have
he's at
Rodman
Rajasthan.
Powell.
Rodman Powell, he doesn't fire, so you need an alternate. So Rishabh Pant is keeping, Salt can come in and he can, you know, score.
Okay,
so,
makes sense.
But you need a backup, and you need to extend your batting strength.
Chris Jordan
The bowlers
is up.
have arrived.
Yeah, the bowlers have come now. Yeah. Now we'll have a quick auction, I think. Yeah.
No. He has a base price of 2 crores and it's Chris Jordan. And there are more than a few teams. I was just looking at this. So
I think they're showing Gujarat Titans all the time because
Now it's time for bowlers.
I think they have already gone for him. Unsold? Don't tell me.
Chris Jordan unsold? No. It's still
No,
going
unsold,
on.
yeah.
Oh.
Chris Jordan has, wow.
Wow, that's
Okay.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Actually, he had a very poor season with Punjab Kings last year.
yeah, but one
yeah, but
season
still,
really
he
doesn't tell you
is
much.
one
And
among the better
yes,
T20
and
bowlers.
also, even in
This will
international
be
cricket.
another interesting purchase.
Now remember, the players are going to
Stokely.
come in
Just
the
about-
order of preference. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
just about Jordan. He's had a high, over the last couple of years, his economy rate has gone higher.
Okay.
It's nearing around 9-ish now.
All right.
So even with the T20 World Cup, although he's still effective picking up wickets at the depth, his economy rate is actually climbing up. So that could be a factor. They could come back for him. You never know.
So I think Mumbai and Chennai are going in for Reece Topley right now. He's at 90 lakhs.
Yeah.
And I think Chennai is going to bid a little,
And
be a
Chennai
little stronger in their bid for him.
And Chennai need fast bowlers.
Yeah, Chennai need fast bowlers.
Chennai need
And-
fast
and-
bowlers.
But here again,
Mumbai
you know-
will be happy to have one.
Here again,
Mumbai,
this is where
yeah.
I'm
Mumbai-
still
Mumbai,
confused
yeah,
about.
Mumbai.
Here again, this is where I'm confused with Chennai's strategy of having so many foreign
But they
players.
still need money.
No, they
How much
use-
money does Mumbai have?
Mumbai, hold
Mumbai
on.
has around three.
They still need money to pick up a good spinner. There, they've stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell me RCB
I think
haven't done?
RCB has entered the fray.
Okay, so you asked about Chennai, using these. So you look at how they use Josh Hazelwood because they need to replace Josh Hazelwood. They used him sparingly. They didn't use him in every match.
True.
So when playing in Chennai, you don't need those, overseas paces.
Sold for 1.9 to RCB. It seems.
RCB,
That's a great buy.
goodbye.
That's a terrific buy.
Yeah. And that's Mike Hessen's signature all over it. Mike Hessen, he's worked out. He needs this player. He needs to bolster their bowling attack. Jaydev Unadkat. I think
Oh, this is going to
Gujarat
be
Titans could be in for it. I'll be
You know,
surprised. if
I
they don't.
can't. I really can't help but remember the 2018 auction. How much did he sell for? How many
12,
crores? Yeah, 12, I
12
think.
or
12
something.
crores.
12 or
I'll
something.
just Google that in right now. But yeah, he did go for a pretty high price.
Yeah.
And
Which
this
was
time his
ridiculous.
base price is at
Ridiculous,
50
yeah.
lakhs, which is quite surprising. He could have
So
easily.
6 crores.
Easily.
Let's see, he's back in the test squad. Stars are up. You never know.
Stars are up. Exactly. Stars are, and even when he went for 12 CR, even at that point,
Yes.
he had been
Yes.
selected or he had won something like that. So stars were up at that time as well. So again,
I remember the first time. Oh,
50 lakhs.
50. Are
And-
you serious?
And LSG have got him.
Okay.
And
let's-
GT didn't go for him.
Come on. This does
Gujarat
not
Titans
make
did
any
not.
sense.
And even Sunrisers, they didn't even.
He sold at that
Yeah,
price?
50 lakhs.
Sold for 50 lakh. Okay.
So is that stars going up or?
Where are the stars?
no, I mean,
I'm
he's-
sorry,
he's
where
going
are
to be
the
on the
stars?
bench. He's
How,
going to be on the
how,
bench.
how does an Indian
Adam
bowler
Miller.
go
Adam
for
Miller.
a base price of 50 lakhs?
Because they are building a bench now. They're building the bench strength. They're not. He's not for LSG. He's not walking into the first 11. Maybe some matches he'll start. So they're building the bench, rotate players, and also you have to consider that when he was bought for 12 crores.
I'm saying what I'm saying mostly from the point of view that he's an Indian player.
Yes, but what sort of performance has he given in the last few years in the IPL? That's also something that needs to be
I
considered.
mean, he's not been terrible when he was playing for
So-
Rajasthan.
Yeah, but when they bought him for 12 CR, they released him the next year, and they bought him back for what 3 or 3.
Yeah, much cheaper
which
rate, yeah.
reflected his value. And it's been 3 years since then. And yeah, I mean the wickets haven't really come through. Yes, he's been doing well in the domestic circuit, but in the IPL, the performances haven't really shown through, reflecting that sort of value.
Jai Richardson is up, and I think
Yeah.
Mumbai has bid for him.
Did Adam Milner go unsold?
I think he has gone unsold. I'll just
Okay.
check on that, but I think
That
he
was-
did go unsold.
That was surprising.
Jai Richardson at 1.5 with that's it. So
Yeah.
Mumbai, I think, is building up its reserves.
That's all.
No,
All right.
so Mumbai have this formula of 3 pacers. So you have Jofra Archer, Jasprit Bumrah, and Jai Richardson. There you have your 3 pacers back. And
Yeah.
now they will concentrate on getting that spinner, really.
I think yes.
Adam
I think a
Zampa.
good spinner.
Adam Zampa.
Yeah, a
Adam
good
Zampa.
spinner. And Mumbai Indians is right now more or less a sorted franchise.
Yeah.
Ishant Sharma, I think he will go unsold like what
Okay,
happened earlier.
you know what?
And
This is probably
Unsold. I would say he will go
yeah,
unsold.
yeah.
Yes,
You're
he will be
also
unsold.
probably looking at the sunset of a good India career.
True.
Maybe Delhi Capitals buy him for.
Yeah, Delhi
for
boy
emotional
probably they do,
reasons.
but you know what?
Yeah.
yeah,
At base
like-
price. But I doubt, because now also it's also about
I think
bloating.
it is
I think
with
he's
Delhi.
going unsold.
I think the bid is with Delhi. I think it's, yeah, sold to Delhi
Yes.
for 50.
Yeah, so emotional
Not
purchase.
Good,
Emotional
good,
purchase.
good.
No,
I'm-
I think
you
he's
know,
a great replacement
good.
bowler.
Yeah,
if
I mean,
Delhi
a great
finds
guy,
themselves
yeah,
short of
you know,
a bowler,
obviously,
he's
honestly.
a
of
terrific
experience.
replacement bowler.
You know, the wonderful thing, I like the fact that Ishan Sharma continues to stay is because let's go back to 2011 here, where he was just trying to make a comeback into the Indian team. It is IPL and, you know, the tutelage of Zahir Khan, spending time in IPL with Zahir, that it allowed him to make a career comeback.
Not just that, Srini. If you remember when Delhi rebranded themselves as the Capitals, Ishan Sharma was in that squad and he
Yes.
did pretty well in that IPL season.
Yes, but now he's in the fag end of his career.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
but so this is somebody. This is not somebody who doesn't know IPL and who can't like.
Bench bowler, maybe, but most importantly, the experience.
True.
The experience counts. I mean, 100 odd test matches for India. He's been a fantastic bowler. He knows the Delhi conditions well, obviously.
Absolutely.
Fantastic buy at 50 lakhs and could get into that role.
This will be interesting. Adil Rashid is
So
up.
here we are in the spinners. Yeah.
Two
And-
crores.
All right, here is what I want to see.
I
What
think
No,
nobody has
Sunrisers. Sunrisers maybe and
nobody has raised a baton for him yet. Oh, no, yeah, Sunrisers has, I think.
Sunrisers have.
Wait,
Sunrisers
hold
have.
on.
Sunrisers have base price.
Nobody, I think.
No, Sunrisers. Base price.
Sunrisers. That's a good buy.
you know what? Sometimes I think that base prices the players set for themselves.
Too high.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean-
you're guaranteed. You see, even if you're picked it, I think, see, this all happens because I think players are in touch with franchises. Franchises tell players, listen, you come to the auction, make sure you're there, we will look at you.
Yeah.
And I think there is a mutual understanding in terms of, where I can set my base price at.
Yes.
And, you know,
I mean,
there
you
are
always have
times-
player agents who send out feelers and try. I
Yeah,
mean, it's not
so
players
there are
themselves, but
times
player
when
agents.
a
definitely.
franchise probably tries to convey that, listen, if not anything, we'll pick you up at base price. So
True,
keep your base
But,
price there.
but somebody like a Joe Root, I mean, that's a surprising base price at 2 CR. I mean, he probably, if he was at 50L, not 50L, because that's too lower price.
If he was at
At
about
1
one,
CR,
I think, yeah.
1 CR probably would have gotten some takers at that price, but 2 CR for that profile of a batsman, when teams are not looking at that profile of a batsman, maybe two teams were looking at. Ajinkya Rahane got picked up, Kane Williamson. Both of them better in what they offer than Joe Root at that
Okay,
price.
Adam Zampa is finally up. 1.5
this is the
CR
mega
is the
spinner.
base price.
This is the mega spinner. I think this
I
RCB
think,
are really happy to get him back, or they would be.
but would RCB
They
invest?
have Hasranga.
No, they have Hasranga, but would they actually invest in somebody like Adam Zampa, especially given the
Zampa
kind of
was with RCB and
Was,
they let him
yeah.
go. Yes. And Hasranga obviously not available for the entire season this year. So Adam Zampa is a good replacement. And Chennai would be interested. Mumbai should be interested here. Srini, with the spinner, Adam Zampa, the quality that he brings.
MI,
The only-
obviously, MI
The problem
would-
with the problem with MI would be too many overseas players to balance it out. That would be the problem.
Okay, what happened there?
Unsold?
Did he go unsold? Hold on, let me just check on that.
Okay, they're like checking on something.
Tabriz Shamsi is up.
1 CR.
Yeah, I think he has gone unsold,
Which is surprising.
which is quite surprising given the kind of form that he is in.
Really surprising.
No, because you were saying that Hyderabad would like to have him, but Hyderabad
No,
again
they've
they
got
have a
Rashid.
pretty good solid.
No, but they've got Rashid. So they are both of them are wrist spinners. So they would want both Adil Rashid and Zampa. They just got Adil Rashid.
And Adil Rashid is quite a good buy at that price.
Yeah,
the price
at
that
that,
they got.
obviously at base price, yes. But I'm Mujib Rahman. The problem with MI going for a spinner at this point is the overseas thing because they've just got Cameron Green.
Yeah.
They have two of the young overseas batsmen there, and
True.
then obviously you have Jofra Archer coming back. You've got Jai Richardson. So an overseas spinner probably doesn't make sense from a Mumbai Indians point of view because they need
No,
that
but what
spin
about
mainstay.
the other teams that are there? I mean, I somehow feel that Delhi maybe could have done with a spinner. I mean, they have Kuldeep Yadav.
I was surprised Chennai didn't go for Zampa.
Yeah,
Because
again,
they used to have Imran Tahir.
but I think
he did
I
quite
think
well. They
that's-
have Mitchell Santner,
Exactly, I think that's the reason why Chennai didn't go. But Delhi could have maybe gone for him.
Mayank Markande. He's up now. Delhi maybe, but again, it's a problem of how many overseas spots you have. They already have Mitch Marsh, Robman Powell, They bought Phil Salt, and I'm sure
No,
they have Andrik Nokia, who's definitely going to play.
Looking, yeah, and they also have Lungi Ngidi, who has
Lungi
made it
Ngidi,
to the
yes.
squad.
So-
But I'm looking at purely from the point of view of having a spinner in the squad. They have Kuldeep Yadav, and besides that, I don't see any other.
But Kuldeep Yadav is going to play 14 games for you.
Agreed. But
Unless
then
he's
who is
injured.
your? Okay, Mayank Markandeya has been sold. I think he has gone
Sunrisers.
to
50 lakh
Sunrisers.
for
Sunrisers.
50 lakhs.
Okay.
Okay, so you can see Sunrisers are slowly building a fairly decent squad there. They
Yeah.
have got another batsman. So this is going to be in their favor. But again, coming back to the question of Delhi not having a second decent spinner, isn't that going to bite them? Especially
Well-
towards the middle and the end of the season when you know you need those slow spinners.
Well, look, I think let's be honest here. If you're looking at a second spinner, somebody like who's a backup to Kuldeep, who's going to play 14 matches unless he's injured, you
Right.
would not want to spend money on an overseas pick, or even an overseas pick, but not at 2 CR.
Okay.
Okay, so because that's a little higher price, they could come back and go for him, but maybe they are saving money to get an Indian pick or somebody who's at a lower base price than 2 CR. So that's the auction dynamics that we keep referring to. So, but again, the baseline here is you're looking at a wrist spinner.
Just look at that card.
Yes.
I don't think there's been an auction, forget about small or big, which has had 5 players with the lowest price among the top 5 being at 13.25, the highest at a record-breaking 18.5 crores. And all of them are overseas players.
yeah. Again,
All
this
of
is
them-
such a turnaround from the very previous auction that we saw.
Exactly.
Where the whole highlight was domestic cricket.
Domestic cricketers, you had KL Rahul, you had Manish Pandey, if I'm not mistaken, being sold for double figures.
Another important thing, what I like the fact is that most of these players were coming from England and Australia, which means right now there is a far bigger clarity of thought in terms of, look at Ben Stokes. There's an Ashes coming. You are still kind of investing that kind of money. Obviously, there is a great amount of clarity in what Ben Stokes himself wants to do. He relieved himself of all other white ball cricket.
Right.
Right? And I think there's a lot more clarity of thought in terms of where they are placing IPL in their scheme of things. They are now beginning to make time out for IPL. I think they're beginning to understand now that, listen, my partial commitment to IPL is not going to work anymore.
Right.
So if I really expect top dollar from this enterprise, then I really need to give the time and energy.
I think it's got a lot to do with how cricketers are now valuing their skills. I mean, when Ben Stokes had his bout of depression and he stepped out of the game for a while, in his interviews, he was constantly mentioning about the fact that, it's not worth it, it's not worth it, it's not worth it. You keep playing so many games, it's not amounting to what they actually want to enjoy. And now when you attach a price tag to it, something this high, I think this kind of matches what they want from their skills, what they want to earn from their trade.
And also the fact that Ben Stokes is probably on the wrong side of 30 now, and he is looking at the end of his career. He's carrying injuries. I mean, I was watching him in the nets in Australia. He's wearing a strap on his knee all the time.
Okay.
And he has to play with that strap because he's had knee injuries in the past. So he's already retired from one white ball format, probably could retire from the other as well by next year,
Yeah.
and only continue to play Test cricket as the captain, English captain. But right now, for him to enter, because it's surprising, you're retiring from white ball cricket for England, but you're coming back and playing IPL, which shows that in this part of your career, where you're probably stepping towards the retirement age, you want to squeeze out whatever amount you can get. And at this stage, if he would have entered the IPL again 2 years down the line, he would not get this value.
Absolutely not.
He gets this top dollar value today because he's still the player that he was when he stepped away a couple of years back, or when he got injured, when he got 14 CR. He's come back and he's got what, 16 now? So he's getting top value today. 2 years down the line, he will not get that value. So squeeze out the money while you still can, and then walk away. And then, of course, there's a broadcasting career waiting him, I
And
suppose.
yeah, exactly. And then the clarity of thought helps so much.
Yes.
When you you make time out, it's I think franchises are willing to invest when they see commitment out there.
And clarity of thought is a phrase that we can use not just for cricketers, but also for the associations and the councils and everything. Because now, if you look at the FTP, 23 to 27, which has come out for the next 5 years, there is a white space in that FTP in April and May, which shows that the IPL will be absolutely on track.
Which is what the BCCI actually did. So, this story needs to be told that when in 2008 the IPL as a property was conceived,
Right.
the BCCI very consciously stayed away from asking for a separate window for the IPL because what their worry was at that point in time was that if they ask for a separate window for IPL, probably other boards that plan their own domestic fixtures may start doing the same, and that is why the annual calendar from an FTP standpoint, from a may get divided, may get slotted. So to avoid that, what BCCI very cleverly did was they stayed away from asking for an official slot. Yet they knew that the popularity of IPL and the kind of money that was
they
at
can
play
throw in.
would attract the best of the talent
Absolutely,
here in India. What has happened after 15 years is that now the property that is standing there is so big that it is already the elephant in the room. So what
Absolutely.
BCCI has again done
yeah.
is that they've just underlined, let's have no confusion and make it easy for the players and not make them,
And
not
the
make
problem,
it any difficult.
it's given rise to a new problem now because seen the popularity and the money spinner that the IPL is, now we have a franchisee league in every country. In every country. And now the problem is, apart from the Indian players, all these players, okay, Ben Stokes is not playing, Ben Stokes is not playing in the BBL, but the other English players are. Harry Brooks will play or Phil Salt will play. So it's starting to become a congestion problem for the players. And I think we're not, maybe not in the next 5 years or maybe not in the next 10 years, maybe 8 to 10 years time, we might start to see the international schedule starting to condense where from January to May, you have all your
If you are
T20
giving
leagues.
a 8 to 9 year timeline duration, I feel like just like what we are seeing in Europe,
Yeah,
we are going to
exactly.
see these leagues.
Absolutely. So
leagues
that's
take the cake.
prominence.
There's one more thing here. The couple of more important things here is, number one, is the survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
Over a period of time, as these leagues sprout, you have to be really good enough, sustainable enough, paying those kind of salaries, attracting that kind of talent, catering to that kind of a prime time requirement in order to sustain and survive. The more, let's look at
But
Emirates
I
Cricket
think-
League vis-a-vis the South Africa Cricket League, right? The basic difference I find, both the leagues are doing wonderfully well in terms of marketing it and getting the best
You're
of the talent that's
comparing
available.
the South African League to
South Africa compared to the Emirates
Emirates,
T20
okay,
League,
okay,
right?
okay. Because
they're
Now,
happening
now
at the
look
same
at that.
time.
Yeah, South Africa has such a great domestic talent at its disposal that it can become a feeder line to the league that they are planning.
Right.
Whereas in Emirates League, local talent is absolutely zero. So whatever they are dependent on in terms of a team building exercise, it's in terms of what they manage to procure. Now these are two separate battles altogether, but telling us some sort of a common story here, where in the longer run, the one league that has a feeder line obviously is going to survive and sustain for a longer time.
I would rather look at it, from the point of view of how the broadcasting rights have changed.
On that, Edwin, I'll tell you one more thing. Right now, people in the industry, if you talk to the industry is also rather alternately speaking right now, if it is very healthy to look at cricket and the current market purely from an ad-driven perspective. Of course, we can do another show on another day on this, but the future, is it with technology coming in, with people having far less patience in terms of what they want to see, everything being at their disposal, the OTT platform setting in, is an ad-driven market the future, right? Because why are you asking this question? Because today, the very central basis on which your league is running is the money that's coming from the broadcaster, right?
Exactly.
So, in the future, will the broadcaster continue to pay money from an ad-driven model?
No, not just that. Not just that. Like even that model of what is the broadcaster has changed. You now have Facebook, you have Amazon all coming in. They don't have satellite setups. They are all following their platforms in order to push the content, push the cricketing content. And once that has changed, then it becomes easier for those smaller leagues in any country to come up, and they know that they're going to get this value there. Especially when they have those followers set on those platforms, it gets easier for them to, like what you said, the ad-driven model, it gets easier for them to tap into it.
So what we will also see in the next, not even 5 years, probably the next 12 to 24 months is a war that is going to play out in terms of content, cricket-driven content and OTT. Because I don't know if I can take the name of the Dream OTT. Can I take names here?
I mean,
Yeah, you can.
So somebody like a fan code, they have
Exactly.
acquired a lot of sporting properties. But now suddenly when you have a host of other OTT platforms coming up, they realize that, okay, you know what, we can also get, so they've gotten those sports properties at a lower price or lower than regular market price or what we see now with the IPL or other properties. But suddenly everybody wants those sports driven content properties. That will lead to a bidding war for those properties and jack up those prices. So OTT obviously is already king and it's going to
Chetan,
drive the price of the content.
I'm not even going to brand them as sporting platforms. I would rather just say cricket.
Yeah.
I mean, you are already seeing this in England. Like there are matches featuring teams like Arsenal and Tottenham that don't come on Sky Sports, that don't come on TV.
But they
It doesn't
come on
the
multiple,
tube.
but they come on multiple platforms.
Exactly.
Because those platforms are actually buying,
So that's what I'm
non-exclusive
saying. See,
content.
Again,
non-exclusive content.
Another key difference here is, listen, you're talking about a very new and a very young product here. When you're looking at IPL, because you're talking cricket and IPL is sort of, the trendsetter, right? I mean, whenever you're looking at any global model that is coming up, whether it works or whether it doesn't, eventually the trendsetter, the benchmark is IPL, right?
Right.
So if you start applying filters, then let's say the very first filter is the fact that it's a very young league with just a 15-year-old window to look back at. And it's an evolving model. Again, as I said, it is based on an advertiser-driven model. Why was I saying it? Because compare it with EPL, which is 30 plus right now, right? I'm not even heading to America. I'm not even heading to NBA, which is 75 years old. I'm not talking, people like to talk about NFL and all. NFL is 105 years old.
Exactly.
It is the granddaddy of leagues, right? So look at the way it has evolved over a period of time. What I'm saying is the IPL today is just a 15-year-old league with a one single-minded driven concept that ad is driving it, right? Now we are beginning to see a digital onslaught.
Exactly.
Technology is seeping in. We saw what happened at the broadcast when the broadcast rights went on sale.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, digital surpassed traditional television linear broadcast, right? The change is, before we could even imagine, the change is already there in our living rooms. I'm saying with tech, the way tech is driving this, I don't know what is in store 5 years later. 5 years later, and by the way, you look at because technology is now driving this, because digital is now the driving force and not linear television, which has become a secondary player in this whole exercise, the primary thing I'm already going to notice is a drop in prices because data content is going to get cheaper. The value that you as a customer you're paying to buy and procure content is going to get cheaper. And digital is going to drive this forward big time.
I don't think IPL, and while I agree that we'll see technology seeping in the way cricket is consumed in the OTT business, I don't think IPL is going to drive that because the valuation is very high.
Exactly.
What will happen is all these OTT platforms or whoever is innovating tech the way cricket is consumed, they will go after the lower leagues, and because the pricing is a much lower, a much lower price point, and experiment there. What works there, of course, it works for the content market here as well.
But then where are the best minds working?
No, the best minds are working here, but they are also acquiring those same properties for the Indian market. Those same properties are available in the Indian market.
Yes.
And you innovate there, experiment there, and then you bring that to the table 5 years
In fact,
hence.
another model that can also be looked at is, maybe you now start selling IPL in batches, like maybe for the first 10 matches, you have this broadcaster. Next 10,
we had a component in this.
There was a package.
There was a package.
No, but but therein again, whoever was the digital broadcaster, there is a TV broadcaster.
There was a package where
there's a parallel TV broadcaster to it as well, right?
There was a non-exclusive set of rights that could have been bought. Okay, that has gone by. What
exactly. The point that I was making was related to the exclusivity of the broadcaster.
Yes. What you're right. The point that you're making is actually right. And you know what? Let me take this a step further. Might bid for all their Mumbai Indians matches. Chennai Super Kings can have their own channel.
Their YouTube channel is called MITV.
Exactly, it's MITV.
Yeah,
and
MITV, and they have an
what
application.
stops Mumbai Indians from having their own channel and actually, bidding for a certain set of matches?
Yeah. And that is where this is headed because you have the Arsenal TV, Manchester United TV, Barcelona
and by the
TV,
way,
Real Madrid TV.
The rights, I'm telling you, today is being sold for 5 years. What I can tell you now that, BCCI seriously contemplated if 5 years was too long to block the this thing,
Yeah.
and should they sell it only for 3 years?
Next time.
Then they realize that India as a market and as an ecosystem is still evolving from a tech side, right? So today, if I'm going to sell only for 3 years, it's going to take me some time, may take my broadcaster some time to settle down.
Okay.
So first year to settle down, second year to understand. By the time your right cycle is already over. That's why for now they decided to stick to 5 years. Don't be surprised in 27 onwards they actually go to a 3-year model. The future could be actually not just cricket rights anywhere around the world sold on an annual basis. Because the pace at which technology is going forward.
That would probably not work, but 3 years is the optimal cycle. If you look at all the football or the NFL and everything, it's or for example Formula One, the rights are
No, but
huge.
like what Srini was
That's
saying.
a 3-year cycle. That's
Agreed. Yeah,
No,
but
I'm
like what
saying,
Srini was
I sell production. I sell production. Look, there is broadcast I can sell for as long as I want. Production is the key here from a technology-driven standpoint, right? How am I producing the sport, right? And from that perspective, I don't think the way things are moving in some years from now, probably a couple of years, and you already moved past what you have actually invested in.
No, absolutely. So like what's happening right now, you are saying that there are these 5-year periods which will be cut down to 3. Eventually, 15 years.
Exactly, you never
later,
know.
It'll be
That
cut down to
and
2,
the
maybe
other
even 1,
bit,
like Chetan
and
was
we
mentioning.
spoke about buckets. We spoke about, how these rights can actually be sold in various buckets. Every little component eventually will be sold separately. Your Saturday game and your Sunday game is going to be sold separately.
Exactly.
Your Monday game is
Forget
going
about
to be
that.
actually a struggle.
The marquee
Yeah.
games.
So today,
Mumbai versus Chennai will have a separate broadcast altogether.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And today, for example, a broadcaster any which ways is struggling trying to see how best can he market a 4 o'clock game.
Exactly.
Because he's just not ready to get able to get the numbers, right? So when those kind of issues become bigger and top dollar comes into play, you're right. I mean, I'll be looking. I don't mind paying. So today, if I'm paying an X sum per match in IPL, I'm paying the same thing for a 4 o'clock game. I'm paying the same thing for a 7:30 game, right?
Right.
So tomorrow there could be a price correction. Well, let's say if you sell those separately, probably yes, the price could get lesser for a 4 o'clock game. But who knows, the 7:30 marquee game will just skyrocket, right?
Exactly.
I mean, so somewhere there is going to be a balance in that.
No, that is definitely going to happen. So I think they're yet to begin the next phase. And as far as the overall setup is concerned, I think they've got all the big names out of the way. Now it's all about how you're going to finesse and put in the right add-ons. Srini, do you think that this war right now is going to be limited just to wicket keepers? Because spin is also a factor that needs to be taken into consideration.
Big time. Big time. And I would really like to see what some of the franchises actually, kind of managed to do here. Like Mumbai Indians, we just mentioned, they still don't have a spinner, or do they?
No, they don't have. I think they have Rahul Chahar with them, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
But yeah, they don't have a big ticket spinner.
No, so no, they've not bought anyone today, right?
No, nothing.
Okay, then
nothing. Mumbai's biggest purchase so far has been Cameron Green, and I think they had another fast bowler added to the mix.
I think the canvas is very clear then. Mumbai Indians need to go in for a good spinner, and I think that is what is going to help them round this up completely.
Okay, Srini, I'm sorry I have to block you out here. So we have got 2 reactions coming in on the auction. This is Suresh Raina and Anil Kumble, if I'm not mistaken, giving their take on what has happened at the IPL auction so far.
Stokes has gone to CSK, and with that, has MS Dhoni chosen his successor?
बिल्कुल, और अच्छा लगा जिस तरह से गए, और अजिंक्य रहाणे, वैंस तो धोनी भाई ऑलरेडी खेल चुके हैं पुणे के लिए, तो कुछ नया नहीं होगा क्योंकि ऑलरेडी वो ड्रेसिंग रूम शेयर कर चुके हैं. तो इट्स अ वेरी वेरी गुड पिक, एंड अलोंग साइड विद सैम करन, एंड जो एमआई ने पिक किया है कैमरन ग्रीन. आई थिंक पोलार्ड को अगर कोई रिप्लेस कर सकते थे तो मुझे लगता है वो कैमरन ग्रीन ही है. तो एमआई की टीम बड़ी स्ट्रांग लग रही है, और जब बॉम्बे में खेलेंगे वो लोग अपने होम ग्राउंड में, तो बड़ी आतिशबाजी होने वाली है.
एमएस क्या ग्रूम करेंगे अब स्टोक्स को एज अ कैप्टन?
बिल्कुल ग्रूम करेंगे, और अजिंक्य रहाणे भी आए. आप देखेंगे जिस तरह से सैम करन के लिए वो काफी गए थे. वो बेन स्टोक इज अ वर्ल्ड चैंपियन, एंड ही हैज डन रियली वेल. वर्ल्ड कप में उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा किया टीम के लिए. अभी टेस्ट बॉल कैप्टन है इंग्लैंड के, और काफी पाकिस्तान में भी टेस्ट सीरीज भी जीते हैं. तो एक अच्छे फ्रेम ऑफ माइंड में, प्लस आई थिंक जो उनका क्रिकेटिंग ब्रेन है, दैट विल बी वेरी वेरी यूजफुल फॉर ऑल द यंगस्टर इन चेन्नई. और चेन्नई का crowd, they all will love him because he has done really, really well in India. And I hope he'll just enjoy and do the whistle and do a lot of whistle polo for CSK.
And do you think Ajinkya Rahane will get a place in the 11 in the final?
Yeah,
In the
बिल्कुल
starting?
Ajinkya Rahane has a lot of experience. He played, I think, more than 170 matches, and he scored heavily in domestic cricket season. And he just want to play for India again. I think love his passion, love his attitude. Very, very disciplined cricketer, and bring a lot of experience on the table. And in wicket like Chennai, I think he is a Mumbai Cup batsman. He knows how to play a lot of good sweep. और जब थोड़ा बॉल टर्न होगा स्पिनर होंगे तो आई थिंक ही विल बी वेरी वेरी यूजफुल हैविंग राइडू एमएस and they कौन में ऋतुराज अब कोई किसी को इंजरी भी होगा तो अजिंक्य राणे has that ability to win matches from any situation.
First things first, the all-rounders have taken away quite a lot of money. So this concept of impact player has not been considered by the teams.
I think. See, it's an option since it has not been used by the team. So probably, it's something that you want to start with the best lineup, playing the starting 11. So that's one of the reasons why the all-rounders have gone for a lot of money. It was expected. But I'm sure as the rule and the strategy evolves around the impact player, probably we'll see a different auction next time around in terms of how people look at the impact player and all-rounders themselves.
And Mumbai Days have picked up Cameron Green, a perfect replacement for Kieron Pollard. So what's your take on that?
No, I think it suits suits the sort of decision making that Akash explained around going for a young player. They showed that even in the last auction with Devil Bravis coming through and Tilak Verma. Some of the young players have come through really well, not just in the last couple of years, but over the years for Mumbai Indians. We have seen the Pandya brothers really grow, and Bumrah, Jasprit Bumrah. So it's nice to sort of have that foundation and go back to a Cameron Green. And I think his bowling type and his batting will suit the Wankhede Stadium because it's a true wicket. The bounce is good. It's very similar to possibly what Cameron Green is used to playing in Australia in terms of the bounce and pace. So I'm really happy for Cameron Green, and Mumbai Indians I thought was a good pick.
And Ben Stokes is back with MS Dhoni. Ben Stokes is back with MS Dhoni. What do you make of this team? MS with such a experience and a successful captain. And
I think Ben. Yeah, I mean, we know the quality of Ben Stokes, not just as a player but as a leader, and how he has sort of performed under pressure, and that's what you would probably want from a Ben Stokes. And I think it's something that was really well chosen again by CSK because something like that for the future, he could potentially be a leader going forward whenever MSD sort of says, okay, I'm done with IPL. So that's an option for CSK. But having said that, like I mentioned, Ben Stokes not just brings his bowling, batting, and fielding to the game, but outside of that, I think it'll be a great value for all the young players to sort of look up to someone like Ben Stokes.
So those were the hot takes by India legend Anil Kumble and Suresh Raina giving their verdict on where Ben Stokes stands as far as being a Chennai player is concerned. And of course, the other big buy of the day, Cameron Green. We are now joined on the studio by Jamie Alter, cricket expert and analyst. Jamie, Srini and I, we have dried our throats talking about the kind of ridiculous amount of money that has been thrown in. This is probably the first time that we have an auction where we have had 5 players, top 5 players, the lowest among them being sold for 13.25 crores, none of them Indians. We've seen Nicholas Pooran enter that list and being sold for 16 crores, while we have somebody like Andre Klassen being sold for just 5 crores and Ishant Sharma being picked up for 50 lakhs, Jaydev Unadkat going for just 50 lakhs. I want to pick your brains on this logic that is going on because Srini has made it very clear. He has thrown his logic into the dustbin. He doesn't want to look at what the numbers are saying about the players. What is your take on
Well,
this?
Nicholas Pooran, 16 crore. I understand.
So, okay, just because Ashwini just mentioned Nicholas Pooran, I used to joke for the longest time, and I'm going to use the Hindi word here, okay, Nicholas Pooran is the actual Deshbhakt. He only scores runs when he plays for West Indies. But over the last 6 months, even that logic has gone out the window.
Exactly.
So when it comes to IPL, I mean, I was just on the phone, and I was speaking with a friend and a former colleague who was very frequent in this office years ago. He said, yeah, 8 crores I can understand maybe, but 16 crores for, and I was driving, I'm like, hang on, you're talking about Pooran. So I found out that he went for 16 crores on the way here. It's just ridiculous. Regarding the top 3, I think the top 3 on everyone's list here would have been Stokes, Curran, and Cameron Green. So I'm not surprised that they went for that big bucks. But again, I mean, Ben Stokes, he's basically only a test player now. He's a test captain. Is it recency bias or the franchises getting caught up with the whole baseball thing? Because he's quit one days. He hardly plays T20s. He came back after what, Srini? I think 15 months. He came back into England's T20 setup for the World Cup. So of the 3 formats, he's probably the least, regular in this one. Is he going to captain? I don't think so. Is he going to bowl? I'm not so sure. So Ben Stokes going for that big bucks, that for me was the biggest surprise. And of course, Nicholas Pooran, like Srini said.
Okay, so now Srini has this whole take about how Ben Stokes could lead Chennai Super Kings till they find their next big guy.
See, I'm of this view that he's still, 31, 32 right now, right? So he's still got a good 4 years of very good cricket left in him. Does he have leadership qualities? Of course he does. I mean, we've seen what he's accomplished. Now, I'm looking at it from a CSK interim standpoint, right? Where if this is probably the sunset year for MSD, then they obviously are in the process of still identifying who their next captain is. Earlier in the show, I said that probably the one person I think CSK have identified, want to groom him from the futuristic perspective is Ruturaj Gaikwad, right?
Absolutely.
So, but probably they still want to give him time. And until that, probably for 2 years, you want somebody to step in. I think Ben Stokes is a great guy.
Okay, just a quick update, guys. So the uncapped players were going up right now, and one Vivrant Sharma from who plays for Jammu has been sold for 2.6 crores. And I have no idea about who this guy is. I'm just looking at his stats right now, and he comes off as a all-rounder, because he has got a decent number of runs under his belt, and he has a knack for taking wickets in List A and in the T20 that he has played, and he has gone to Hyderabad.
Lovely.
Now,
21 players from Jammu and Kashmir.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And
The story has just begun.
so do you think that now the teams are that this is the phase where teams are now going to invest heavily as far as the younger players are concerned, the uncapped players are concerned? Because that has been the highlight of IPL, like getting uncapped players and unearthing their real talent.
In essence, that is what the IPL should be about, right? The Indian in the IPL. Now,
Right.
it's been there, but I think Srini will also agree, we've not seen too many franchises invest that much in that many numbers. There have been a few. I mean, the name of Pawan Negi comes to mind, but again, unfortunate that his final price was that high, because he was never going to live up to that kind of a price tag. Now, in regards to Hyderabad, who did they retain?